Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Game Day Show. It's the biggest game of the season for the Bucs. It's all hands on deck as the 7-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the road, taking on the 7-7 Carolina Panthers. Somebody has to win, and now that I say that, I guess there could be a tie, but someone has to win the NFC South division. And the Bucs just kicked off. Panthers going to get the ball first. And we're going to be here for the whole game, giving play-by-play reactions and analysis. So pumped to be doing this. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to my co-host as well. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me is Daniel Morales. Daniel, we were already talking about it a little bit before the show. It doesn't get much bigger than this game for what's on the line for each of these teams.
Matt, this is huge. It's going to come down to who wants it more to me. Who wants it more? Who wants to be in the playoffs? We got 3 games left. We're only guaranteed this one and 2 more after this. Who wants it more? Oof, I'm pumped. I'm excited, man. This is fun.
I'm not going to lie. It's been hard to get pumped about this team. You know, they've lost 5 of 6. We were on the call for Thursday night, the way they squandered that 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. But at the end of the day, if you beat the Carolina Panthers and win next week, and we'll see what happens with Carolina next week. But if you win 2 of your next 3, hopefully today and then the last game of the season, you're going to win the NFC South. So still a lot to play for with Tampa Bay, despite all the shortcomings.
Of course. I want to see, can we put together a complete game, all 3 phases of football team, or at least a convincing win? Give me a convincing win at least. I'll take that. But here we go.
Yeah. And third down, by the way, Jason Pierre-Paul was elevated for this game, and he is on the field right now. Let's see if he can make a big play. All right, score bug is updated. 3rd and 7. Yeah, this is JPP time. He's lined up next to Hassan Reddick. And same story that we've seen.
First down.
First down for Tampa. So they had Anthony Nelson, Hassan Reddick, and Jason Pierre-Paul in the game. That's very interesting. Ted McMillan makes the catch.
Yeah.
First down. I hate to say it's deja vu, but I don't know what else I would call it. We'll end around for Carolina. Oh, my God.
A very easy first down. More. Wow.
Benjamin Morrison, credit to him for the hustle and trying to get back, but he got thrown to the wayside. And that's another storyline today is obviously no Zion McCollum, no Zion for likely the rest of the season because he's on injured reserve, could come back for a second-round playoff game, but at this point, we don't see that happening. But it's going to be Benjamin Morrison playing outside corner opposite of Jamel Dean.
Yeah, and Todd Bowles had some good words to say about him. He says he's in his best place that he's been in all season, mentally, physically. Let's see if that actually shows up in today's game.
Oh, boy. Jamel Dean makes a tackle, but not the type of tackle you want to see 12 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's a running first down.
And that was way too easy. The Carolina Panthers rushing attack, they're 9th in terms of yards per game. You got it. For me, if I'm Todd Bowles, the priority is stop the run. Force Bryce Young to beat you with his arm. And if it's going to be like this, you're not off to a good start. They haven't been able to stop Bryce Young with his arm. Of course, that first down to Tet. And then now Rico with the first down. And already in field goal range. In the end.
Yeah. Young takes the shotgun snap, looking to step up. Another story, Bucs missing the sack, ends up going incomplete.
Yep, Keys First Force is already in the red zone. Yep. Quickly, the Carolina Panthers march down the field. Yeah, Diaby's so close to bringing down Bryce Young, just grabs his feet, just can't get a hold of him fully. Smart move by the young quarterback throwing the ball away. Or at least, All right, 2nd and 10 here.
desperate for a stop. Looks like Chris Braswell. So they already went to the backup outside linebackers, and they immediately run at Chris Braswell, get about 7 yards. Levante David with the tackle. Maurice Samuel says Yaya is just a jag, means just a guy. I would say he's a little bit above that. I think he's a good second string. Second,
Yes.
he's an outside linebacker too. I don't think he's
Mhm.
now to be the top guy at outside linebacker.
No, I fully agree with you there.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit more than just a guy. Third down.
Outside pitch to Hubbard on 3rd and 3. The Buccaneers finally get a stop here. Good run stop, force the 4th down.
Damn right. Nice stop by the Bucs. We'll see if Carolina goes for it. Doesn't seem to be the case. So, I mean, honestly, Daniel, with how the Bucs defense has played, I kind of look at holding them to a field goal as a win.
Yeah, bend but don't break.
Yeah.
Here's Ryan Fitzgerald, the rookie kicker here at FSU. This should be an easy one, 27 yards, hoping to maybe jinx him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's right down the middle.
Kick is good, unfortunately. So Carolina will take a 3-0 lead. Let me update the scorebook. Panthers 3, Bucs 0, although they have not had the ball just yet. So
Gives me
I
a
don't know how
little
you
fear,
feel.
however, how fast they were to march down the field, both with the arm with Bryce Young, or if you give it to Rico Dowdle, the running back. Just, I hope we don't see this all day. I hope it was just a first drive kind of thing. At least the Buccaneers only, allowed Carolina to score a field goal, but how easy, it seemed too seamless. They were able to move down the field pretty quickly. And even Q44 surprised how quickly they were to be in the red zone. We got to fix these problems on defense.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the main issue, is that it was so rapid.
Yeah.
Like if it's slow, methodical, I guess you can live with it a little bit. But no, that was just like bang, 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 and then you're able to get a stop on 3rd down. But it was a little bit too little, too late. But looking at this offense for Tampa Bay, second game in a row, they'll have all 4 wide receivers.
Yes.
And I think it's even more meaningful this week, not just because it's against Carolina and, we all know what's at stake for each of these teams, but I think it's coming off the heels and, it was a Thursday game, so there's a little bit more time with rest and relaxation and everything like that. But it's one thing to say, hey, Mike Evans is back for the first time since week 7. Hey, Jalen McMillan's back. We haven't seen him yet this season. And then Mike goes bonkers in Thursday night's game, 132 yards. And Jalen McMillan, while it was only 2 catches, in my opinion, it was very impactful with the 2 catches he made, nearly scoring a touchdown. It's one thing for them to be there. It's another thing for them to have their presence felt and make a true impact. And I think they made a true impact. Obviously, Mike did last week. And that is what's most important for their part 2 of this return coming up in a matter of moments.
No, great stuff there. I fully agree with you. And it's also another week that Josh Grizzard has all his weapons at his disposal. So we get another week to see, what does Josh Grizzard actually, was he limited with the injuries on offense, or who is truly Josh Grizzard? We'll see hopefully a better look today. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that's a great point as well.
Yeah.
Looks like they're cutting off the sleeves for Vita Vea. Yeah, they get a bunch of free stuff. They can they can cut together the shirts every now and then.
I think we have to see also today a more accurate Baker Mayfield. The accuracy issues have been a problem for Baker Mayfield. That's what killed the MVP chance. We have to see a more accurate Baker Mayfield. His on-target percentage, he ranks 30th among all quarterbacks. He has to be more on target. He has to be more accurate with the football when he's passing. A huge return here by Cam Johnson brings it almost up to midfield. Great stuff by him.
Absolutely. That can provide a spark for a team that really needs a spark in the worst way. And would be happy to find it in any kind of example. But that's something that's been lacking as well. I'm not here trying to truly bash Cameron Johnson, but we haven't seen a big return like that in what, a month and a half?
Yeah. Felt like earlier in the season he was getting those bigger returns, and it just all went quiet. We got an injured Carolina Panther on the field.
Yeah, can't tell who it is, but yeah, brief injury on the play. The Real Maverick says, since week 1, LOL. That's not true. He's had a couple of other, good returns, as Q's44 says. Nice return. The Real Maverick says, Baker needs to be 70% today. Hopefully completion percentage-wise. That's for sure. Ugh, the Saints jerseys they're wearing like their alternate gold with the black.
The ugly gold uniforms.
Yeah, just ugly looking jerseys. They're playing the Jets today as well, so more important for the overall draft pick position. Shout out to Diesel, who says, Yo! What up, Diesel? How we doing? Okay, first play for the Bucs on offense. They are under center. Going to run it with Bucky Irving. Bucky with a nice cut, gets about 6 yards on the play. There's another thing too, Daniel. I don't know how you feel, but curious to get your opinion on it. Bucky's been fine. He's been solid since his return. But I don't know. I feel like we don't have the true full Bucky back just yet. But what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think, you keep giving him reps and see if he gets hot. I don't know if you've been seeing I would give, it would be for me, Bucky, and then you put in Sean Tucker, because I don't know if you've been seeing on Instagram all the Jaden Daniels love that Rashad White has been giving on his.
I have, yeah.
He basically wants to be a Washington Commander. So if I'm Todd Bowles, I'm giving all his reps to Sean Tucker, but that would just be me. I would send a message that way. But yeah, I would go with Bucky. He's still returning, a few weeks in now. He hopefully got all the rust off. When he came back against the Cardinals, remember, he was explosive. Just see if he gets hot here. But really, whoever gets a hot hand, whereas him or Tucker, that's who I want in the game.
His best game was when he first came back and against Arizona. New set of downs for the Bucs. They're going to run it with Bucky. And Scotty J says, run. Well, if you're getting the first downs, then screw it. Run it all day long.
Again, that Cam Johnson big return set this team up in really good field position overall.
Yeah. By the way, we got to give a huge shout out to Steven Zuhl, who isn't just a Pewter Report, Pewter Platinum member, who isn't just now a member for 2 months, but also says at the game, really hoping for a win. Love that you were at the game. Thank you for tuning into the Pewter Game Day show as well. Hopefully trying to get some play-by-play. But thank you so much, Steven Zuhl. We appreciate you.
2nd and 9 here.
Hey, look at that. Mike Evans with a catch over the middle. That's a first down for Tampa Bay. As the Real Maverick says, Evans in all caps, followed by Mike with the 13 as the I and the E in Mike.
And there was no rust on Mike Evans last week coming back from that broken collarbone. He just picked up.
None.
Right where not exactly where he left off, because he had a little bit of struggles in the beginning of the season going up against Derek Stingley Jr. and Sauce Gardner, but he just had a tremendous game coming back. I would feed Mike Evans as much as I can in this game.
No doubt about it. And he stays on the field here as they run it with Bucky Irving for a brief gain. Derek Brown with the tackle. I think he's going to be an absolute menace and a nuisance in this game, but makes a good stop there. Yeah, just bam, right at the line of scrimmage.
One-yard gain. Remember, those injuries continue on the interior offensive line. Ben Bredesen now on IR, so he's going to miss the remainder of the regular season. Michael Jordan filling his place, but it feels like he's just kind of been in and out as a starter this whole season because of those injuries. That really makes it harder for a guy like Graham Barton in that interior offensive line at the center position. And quick little screen pass to Chris Godwin Jr. gets stopped right away for about a 1-yard gain. Makes it about 3rd and 8.
Yeah, it's Scorton on the tackle. We spoke a lot about him this morning on the Pewter pregame show and what he can do. And we actually said Scorton versus Luke Gedeke. Now, it looks like Luke Gedeke pulled on this play and, just couldn't get to him quick enough. I mean, credit to Scorton as well. It looks like he read it right away. So I don't really have too much blame to give for Luke Gedeke, but it does set up a crucial 3rd and 9 with Rachaad White in the backfield for Tampa Bay. 3 wide receivers to the left. And Mike Evans to the right. They're going to run another screen. Jalen McMillan makes the catch, bobbles it, but it's a first down. So all's well that ends well.
It's a little bit weird seeing him in the 11. Remember, he was 15 last season, but here he is with the 11. Bobbled it, was able to have the concentration to grab it again in the air, gets the first down.
Was his college number over at Washington was number 11. But yeah, there were times like Tez Johnson, once he got number 15, I'm like, oh, damn, like Jim McMillan's back. And it's like, nope, it's Tez Johnson. And Sean Tucker is in the backfield. He's been the guy that's been getting the red zone reps. So that's what Josh Broussard wants to do. They're going to pitch it with Tucker. Gets about 3 yards.
Little pitching had Kate Otten there as one of the lead blockers. How do you feel about the whole contract situation with Kate Otten? At this point, I don't know if I commit. If it's going to be maybe a $7 million year contract, $8 million, but I don't know if you'll take that. What's your whole situation with this tight end position, especially with Kate Otten in a contract year?
Yeah, it's a good question. I like Kate Otten, the person.
Yes.
I think he's a good man. As it pertains to the football field, I'm kind of ready to move on. He's not making that much of an impact as a receiving tight end. Yes, he's a good blocker. As Bucky Irving darts towards the end zone, looks like he's a yard short. I just feel like the Bucs can upgrade. And then also, I like Devin Cope as a receiving tight end.
Yeah.
I think you can find either a blocking tight end. You already have it with Payne Durham. Or if you want to play Culp even more, you can just use an extra lineman as a blocker. So, if it's a cheap deal, absolutely, sign him back. But I'm fine with, moving on.
Yeah, we're in agreement there. And Devin Cope today is inactive. Here we go.
Yeah.
1st and goal.
Baker looking for Mike Evans to throw. It's caught. Touchdown, Mike Evans. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans gives the Bucs the first score of the game. Things we love to see is Mike Evans scoring a touchdown, Mike Evans getting the ball at the goal line.
Mike Jackson's not a small guy either. He's 6'1", but Mike Evans just made it look so easy with that grab. Touchdown. Tampa Bay goes up now with the Chase McLaughlin kick, 7-3. Good sign on offense here.
That is right. Let me update the score bug real quick, folks. And it's always good to update it when the Bucs go back in front. Actually, they were never technically in front. Panthers 3. Let's go.
Let's go, Roger Greenberg.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a fire the cannons. Of course, we're not in Tampa. Those cannons will be firing right now, but fire those cannons. Perfect ball by the free subtitle is AI here. Perfect ball by Baker. We'll talk about the accuracy issues he's had. Ranked 30th in terms of on-target percentage. There we go. That was a perfect pass in the end zone.
Shout out Tim Burton. Thanks for the message as well. Says Matt won me some money. Literally called the Mike touchdown on Pewter Props. Yeah, I actually had Mike in the Pewter parlay, which is Mike Evans touchdown, Sean Tucker touchdown, and Jalen McMillan over 18.5 receiving yards. McMillan's not there just yet, but certainly looking close to it. James says, let's go Bucs. Real BS 83 says Baker first 4 throws on the money. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously they leaned on the run on that first drive, but every throw Baker made was very, very accurate. As MJ RVI says, vintage Mike. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Daniel, how much has this team missed Mike Evans with what he did last game and then what he's done already in this game?
I'm sure all Tampa fans are hoping that he comes back for one more season at least, comes back for another season next year and continues the success he's having. But no matter what, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. You can't guard him like T. Woods Cinco Ocho says. Mm-hmm. You can't guard him.
All right, I am tweeting out. You can guarantee that when the Bucs are in the red zone or at the goal line,
Batman Jack says Mike 13 baller. Bat W446 says I called it 31-17. We're on our way. Okay, you're pretty confident. Okay, let's see if it comes out 13-17. I think they get the win. I don't know if there's going to be so much separation in the scoreboard, but we'll see.
That is the second touchdown of the year for Mike Evans.
David Docher, let's go defense, please. Remember that first drive? It felt like the Carolina Panthers went to the red zone area way too quickly. It was too easy for them. This defense needs to step it up. They need to bring energy. They need to play aggressive. And they need to make sure they force a punt on this drive.
That's been half the battle is, Bucs offense scores a touchdown, gets a lead, and then they immediately allow it right back. So I know it's early, but a crucial moment in the game, in my opinion, to see if the Bucs can prevent that trend, which I don't know if they can. All right.
James XX6KY says, I'm sitting in Jackson Hole, Wyoming Airport, waiting to get back to Tampa International Airport, TPA. Maybe not watching first time ever will bring Bucs luck. Please just keep me in the loop on this game. We'll try to do the best we can here, buddy. But
yeah, for sure. Thanks for the comment. Safe travels home.
Yes.
Hope you get home safe. I imagine you're getting home for the holidays. So, safe travels. Bucs defense is on the field for the second drive of the game with 4:01 to go in the first quarter as Carolina is going to run it for a short game.
Again, minimal game there. For me, you got to stop the run. You got to force Bryce Young to win this game with his arm. And here he comes out in shotgun here. Empty. Nope, not empty set. You got Rico back there with him.
Will the Brewer. Oh, we'll get to Will the Brewer in a second. Scotty J says opening drive touchdown. Miracle. They've done that before this season. The Patriots game was a big one as well. And then Will the Brewer says, got you guys synced with the TV in the house, grilling at 26 degrees here in Chicago. Hell yeah, Will. Sounds like an awesome time. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for having us on in your household. And what are you grilling up? Some steaks, dogs? Curious to know, but thank you for your support. Shout out to our guy Stubby Ryan has become a Pewter Report YouTube channel member. Appreciate it. Tim Burton wants a little shout out. So you know what, Tim Burton? You're going to get a little shout out. So thank you for watching.
Shout out Tim Burton.
Carolina runs for a first down. As Carl says, yep, this running game is a problem. We knew the Panthers were going to attack it that way. It was just whether or not the Bucs could stop it. And they brought their linebackers up to the line of scrimmage on that play, but did not help out. Panthers at midfield.
Oh, Bryce Young got tripped up, and here comes Savasi Dennis to clean it up for the sack.
6th sack for Savasi Dennis. I mean, he'll take him as he can get him. As the Real Maverick says, sack, finally. I guess I'll play the video. It was, a little...
The easiest sack that he'll ever get in his career.
No doubt about it. 2nd and 18. Surely the Bucs should be able to get a stop on these next two plays, as we have not seen. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
I think by
Like
Vita Vea possibly there.
Yep. 3rd and 18. Surely the Bucs should get off the field.
Right. Last week it was 3rd and 28, then 4th and 14, and couldn't get off.
The Real Maverick says flashbacks. Bucs guy. Sorry, the comment's moving quick. It says 3rd and 18. Let's go. Yeah, let's see. Bucs probably going to go front 4. Looks like they might blitz Levante David.
No, they dropped Savasi and Levante back coverage.
Yaya Diaby misses.
All right, Matt. We got to stop the defense.
They get the stop. I'm not laughing at him, but poor Benjamin Morrison, already a little bit of a tough game. Just leaps right over him. But Jacob Parrish was there. I'm actually going to tweet that out in all caps. Huge stop on 3rd and 18. Huge.
And that's a good response by Todd Bowles and his Buccaneers defense. Again, that first drive, the Panthers got down the field way too quickly, way too easily. They finally get the stop here, force a punt. Flag on the field. Let's see. Likely going to be on Carolina. Penalty is going to be on Carolina here. Backs him about 5 more yards. Now 4th and 20.
Ball punted away. Calling for a fair catch is Cameron Johnson. There's another flag on the plate. Offsides. Who the hell cares? Just put it 5 yards back from where it was. Go to commercial break. Only 21 seconds remaining in this first quarter. So I don't know how the TV production works, but kind of odd to go to commercial break when you're about to go to commercial break again.
If they can pump out more commercials, they're going to do it.
That's true. Yeah, if they can print more dollars, that's that's how they're going to go without it. Let's read off a couple more comments. Sorry, I was doing some behind-the-scenes stuff, setting up our podcast for after the show, which is a good reminder that once we are done, and it's still very early, but we're going to have a Pewter post-game show following the conclusion of the Bucs at Panthers game. Hopefully we're talking about a Bucs win, but it'll be myself and Scott Reynolds on the Pewter post-game show. We'll answer every super chat. We'll get into questions, comments, and our overall reaction to the Bucs Panthers game, which again, hopefully we are talking about a Bucs win, which have been few and far between to come from. In really since the Bucs have come out of the bye. They've only won one game since. But let's see how the Bucs look offensively on this next drive, because they did score a touchdown on the opening drive. They've done that before, but then they kind of, shut down a little bit. I hope Josh Grizzard keeps the group aggressive as they try to build a 2-score lead.
Yeah, we saw a very accurate Baker Mayfield on that first drive, 4 for 4. As we mentioned earlier, we got to continue to see a very accurate Baker Mayfield, not overthrowing, overshooting his guys. He has to be on target today. These next few weeks, plus if the Buccaneers enter the playoffs, he has to correct those accuracy issues. And if they don't, unfortunately, this offense won't be too productive moving forward.
Hughes44 says, pound that biscuit. Definitely had success running the football, so not opposed to it. Will the Brewer says it's a must win. Absolutely is. Yeah. Absolutely is. James calling for more running as well. Says, run the ball, Grizz. Ooh, they are showing the collapse by the Bucs to the Falcons.
It was 28-14 with about 13 minutes left. We thought maybe Baker Mayfield can put that game out of reach. And just the Buccaneers Falcons, they choked in that game, unfortunately. But they got saved by the Saints because the Saints were able to beat the Carolina Panthers last week. So now we got 7-7. Both teams here fighting for first place in the NFC South. Who wants it more? As I mentioned earlier, we will see.
Opening drive for the Bucs. They're at the 10-yard line. And there's Bucky Irving once again. So Bucs definitely committing to the run, committing to a lot of Bucky Irving as well. Remember, Sean Tucker didn't get the ball until the red zone, and Rachaad White was only in there for passing plays. Yep, that's it.
There we go, the commercials.
For the first quarter. Shout out to Chef X55, who says, happy to be here for my first Pewter Game Day live. Thank you so much for joining with us. Welcome to the Pewter Game Day Show and Pewter Report TV. Appreciate you so much for listening to us this afternoon. We definitely appreciate it. Geist85 said 8569 says Todd looks half asleep. Listen, we can't start with the Todd Bowl slander for him just standing and looking at the game, So let's hold off on it. I'm sure there will be a reason to complain about Todd Bowles at some point in this game. As Q's44 says, welcome, ex-chef. Yeah, very nice of you. S14BST says, we in fact can, LOL. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to tell fans how to fan. Mr. Angle says, Matt, this slander has been brewing for 4 years. I guess that's understandable as well. Stubby Ryan says, can't watch the game, here for the hang. Well, appreciate you rocking with us. We'll obviously give the audio version of what's going on. By the way, a little bit of an injury update. This is per Scott Smith, the Bucs team reporter. Says injury report from Bucs sideline. Outside linebacker Anthony Nelson has a knee injury and is questionable to return in the game. Now, does that mean a little bit more of JPP? It could be, but I wouldn't still play him on first and second down. Unfortunately, I think you got to go with Chris Braswell and then let JPP be the guy on third down.
I mean, we got Dashmow and Geist85 calling for Braswell now. Geist85 says Braswell is Bulls' secret weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, Braswell might be the next Myles Garrett. I was thinking about this earlier today. He might be the next Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, those generational pass rushers.
Patience is a virtue, as they say. Excuse me. All right. Updated ticker for the second quarter. Ticker tape parade. They are showing Todd Bowles' F-bomb expletive tirade as we start the second quarter.
Stick with the ground game right there in 2nd and 7.
Looks good. Maybe a first down, maybe just short, but a healthy dose of running the football. Clearly, this was the game plan for Tampa Bay. They're going to call it 3rd and 1. Bucs going a little up-tempo now. I like it. You got to get the first down, though. Ooh, I don't know, Bucky. It's very close. I think they're going to give it to him. But that wasn't inspiring. But don't hate them running the ball. Let's see. Yeah, nice play by Morig. Tough to ask Tez Johnson to make a block. And there's a player down. Can't tell who it is. But it looks like they gave Tampa Bay the first down. Tim Burton says, I think we should go with a new coaching staff. I think there needs to be adjustments. If Bowles is going to stay, and I'm not saying he's going to stay, but I don't know. I think they need a new secondary coach. I think that they need a new safeties coach or quarterbacks coach and safeties coach. They can't be complacent with what they have on this team because it's just not enough, whether it's player development, skill set, or game plan. It's just not enough.
I agree with you there. It also comes down to player execution. I feel like player execution has been lacking a little bit, in my opinion. Even last week, if you look to a situation where tight end Kyle Pitts Jr. Senior was going up against Antoine Winfield Jr. and Antoine Winfield Jr. just got lost. He got beat by Kyle Pitts on that play. Kendall Vildor got beat a few times last week. It also comes down to player execution. I'm not defending Todd Bowles, not saying, there's some blame to go around for him also, but the players, like he was saying, they got to look themselves in the mirror and they got to do what they're supposed to be doing as well. For example, Zion got paid, and he talked about earlier in the season a few weeks ago that sometimes he just gets bored out there. That's not there. He can't. That's not on Todd Bowles. The player's getting bored out there.
Yeah.
Not defending him. I'm not defending Todd Bowles, but I'm saying there's blame to go for the coaches and the players as well. Players need to execute. And today, so far, especially on offense, they're executing, and on defense, they were able to get the stop there, the second drive. But it comes down also to player execution. But there are a few head coaching candidates that I like out there, but I'm not ready to move on from Todd Bowles just yet. We'll see how these final few weeks, play out. But as of right now, I'm not calling for his job.
Right, because if they go 10-7, then it's like, okay, well, he had the same record as last year. We wouldn't love the way that they went about getting the same record as last year.
Yep. You want to get into the dance, the playoffs, of course, and you want to just see what happens. Guys 85.
National Commercial League. That's legitimately laugh out loud funny. And true, NFL wants its money.
Yep. So, guys, Stan Glassman says bored means he loses concentration. Just a poor choice of words. Jamil Jones says, I don't understand how you could get bored on game day as a professional. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And a Bucs fan says, I agree. It's player execution, but it's the coach's job to get your players ready to play. And look at that. Whoa, huge. Look up and Rashad White's running down the field. Matt Phillison would just
I go to answer a text and I miss such an unreal play. But, I mean, proof once again, Rashad White in limited doses the last two games has, had some of the biggest moments.
And you're looking at the future of Washington Commander right there. Illegal hands to the face. He's working against Tristan Wirfs, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, tack on another 15. Rashad White bumped into Tristan as well, but hell of a run, and Bucs are in business on this next drive.
No passes by Baker this drive. Also very heavy in the run game.
I kind of like it. Nothing against Baker, just awesome stuff.
Nowhere to go for Rashad White. Gets stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Stopped at the line of scrimmage on that next play. Okay.
Yep, fans calling here for play action.
$13:15 to go in the second quarter. Bucs trying to build on the 7-3 lead.
No Mike Evans, no Duke out there.
Yeah, that's right. Got Godwin and McMillan to the left. Baker completes the Chris Godwin Jr. for about 8 yards. Set up a 3rd and short. Yep, here comes Mike. Here comes Emeka. Comp JG wants to know, sorry, a little late to the cast. We see any JPP yet? He was on for at least one snap. Didn't get to the quarterback. It was a 3rd and 7. But yeah, he's been in there for a little bit. 3rd and 7. Baker looks, throws, knocked away by the corner, Mike Jackson. And that'll set up, well, that'll be 4th down. See what the Bucs decide to do. Yeah, just read the play well.
Yeah, this is a good play by Mike Jackson. He got beat in the end zone by Mike Evans earlier.
That's right.
Now he saves his defense here, forces the Buccaneers to kick the field goal, forfeit. It's going to be a 48? Yep, 48-yard field goal here.
Kick is up. And wait. I thought I saw the refs blowing a whistle. Are they going to say it's on Carolina? It's going to be a 1st down for Tampa Bay?
Well, Baker's coming out to the field.
And we saw this last week. Now, it hurt the Bucs when Zion McCollum went offsides on the field goal, the first drive of the game for Atlanta. So it's either going to be 3 points for the Bucs or a 1st down.
Give me the 1st down here.
Yeah.
A lot of talking. Let's see.
A lot of chatter. Come on, this can't be that.
Are they waiting for New York to come in and tell them what to do?
Way too much time on a freaking field goal, man. What are we doing? Gotta tweet that out. How is it taking this long to decide if there was a penalty on a, I'll say GD field goal?
All right, unnecessary roughness here on the defense. All right, the Buccaneers get the 1st down. It was on A'Shawn Robinson, the 10-year veteran.
Yeah, can't hit the long snapper. That was a disgusting act by A'Shawn Robinson. Personal foul indeed. Q's44 says, oh, sorry. Q's44 says, tuck time, please.
Rashad White is in there. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Little handoff to Rashad. Gets about 3 yards. Yakura, shout out to you, says, damn, you guys are like 20 seconds ahead of me. What the F? Here's what you got to do. Pause it, wait 20 seconds, and then you'll be synced up and lined up with us. So appreciate your support. And I can't tell if that's, what's that other flag besides the United States flag? Might be Puerto Rico. Shout out Puerto Rico. And Bad Bunny. Okay, 2nd and 7. Little pony package. Rashad White and Bucky Irving in the game. They're going to run it with Bucky. Gets about a yard. Yakura says it is. All right, awesome. Let's go. Francisco Lindor as well.
All right, they've gone very run heavy here. I'm not opposed to it, of course, but this is a situation where I feel like you got to put it in Baker Mayfield's hands and you got to get him
here.
You got to figure out something.
Wouldn't mind a Baker. I'm not going to say a designed run, but yeah, maybe a Baker scramble, something like that. Got Mike one-on-one, Mike versus Mike. And as you pointed out, Evans beat Mike Jackson on that. Wow, Baker not looking for Mike Evans, but finds Chris Godwin Jr., and it all works out the same. So that's 1st down for Tampa Bay.
And Baker Mayfield put it right where only Chris Godwin, it was a low pass, but right only where Chris Godwin Jr. can get it. Yeah. 1st and goal. Rashad White takes the handoff, stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, maybe a half a yard. Scoreton's been hyped up today. He made that
Yeah.
tackle on the screenplay a little bit earlier. Wouldn't mind an Emeka Buka touchdown because, to be honest, I think there's 3 players in the running for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's 2 guys in this game, Ted McMillan and Emeka Buka. And I think Travion Henderson of the Patriots has had a good second half of the season and I think could be in the running. So touchdown could go a long way, but let's see. Payne Durham goes in motion.
Here's Sean
hand
Tucker.
it off to Sean Tucker. Little short. About 2.5 yards away. Man. Hopefully they just get it on 3rd and goal. But I'm curious if they would go for it on 4th and goal when you consider this drive. You had 3 points.
Depending on how this play goes here, if they're close enough, I'd go for it. What do you have to lose here? Just go for it here. Now, you have a lot to lose, of course, but I like it playing aggressive.
I'd go for Vita Vea
big man
is in the backfield. I don't think you give it to him this far away. I mean, he could run a route. And it's all.
Oh, they knew exactly where he was going to go. Sean Tucker brings it back around.
Baker Mayfield with the block. Tucker's trying to get to the outside, and he can't. Man. Baker put the block in, too.
The defense sold out to the right side. They knew Vita Vea as a lead blocker. The ball's going to go that way. Sean Tucker tries to save this play, runs the opposite way. Baker Mayfield, like you said, even throws out a block. Back to the 5-yard line here.
So I'm going to get a little nitpicky. I didn't like the formation. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing Vita Vea on the field. I didn't love the formation of not one wide receiver, all line. Oh, my God. Okay, he hit it. That was close. Because you were like 2.5, 3 yards out. You weren't exactly at the goal line. If you're at the 1 yard line, fine. Go, no wide receiver, all tight end and lineman. But, didn't love that call. But anyway, ends up in a field goal for Tampa Bay. And the kick is good. Bucs extend their lead now 10-3. Yeah, the Real Maverick says, why not throw it on 2nd? I'm fine with them not throwing it. Just don't love the play call on it. Flaccavelli says, does Chris know that Mike is back? Yeah, I think they did not throw to Mike when he had the one-on-one.
He was isolated in the bottom of your screen, and then it was still first down. Chris Godwin Jr., but perfect opportunity. If I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm hitting Mike Evans 1-on-1 in the end zone. Little goal line, shoulder fade there.
Yeah. Christopher Oxentine says, stupid ass play calls. Not happy with it. Diesel says, wanted 7 there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the idea when you benefit from a penalty on a field goal is you want to get the 7 instead of the 3 points, but killed a little more clock. David Dosher says, football gods, come on. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, I think Josh Grizzard's going to have to get a little bit more creative if he's going to put Vita Vea back out there, because the whole defense for Carolina, they sold out. They knew Vita Vea is lined up to the left side. This ball is most likely going to go the handoff to the left side, and they just sold out, and they just committed. But maybe you have Vita in motion coming over to the right side, and then you have Sean Tucker running counter, so it looks like he's going to run to the left initially if Vita Vea is lined up there, and then they bring it over to the right side because they are committed.
Yeah.
And if I'm Josh Grizzard, I'm going to try to fix that next time. But they knew where the ball was going to go.
Keita Villain says, Grizzard has to improve with the red zone offense. Man, he's too bland. Because that was crazy. I knew that play was coming as soon as I seen Vita Vea out on the field. Yeah, and I will reiterate, it's different when you're 3 yards out and you see Vita Vea versus you're a half a yard out and you see Vita Vea. Steven Zuhl with a good point says, I understand running the ball 3 times, but damn, Mike has had one-on-one looks all game. Yeah, it feels like they are setting up Carolina for a big play for Mike. Now, obviously, Mike has a touchdown, and that's a big moment. But yeah, I mean, you're playing with fire if you want to go one-on-one against Mike Evans. So, for the Bucs' sake, I hope Carolina keeps doing that. By the way, cool end zones for Carolina. I know they're rivals. You got to hate on them, but not a bad-looking end zone.
I agree with Stan Glassman here also. This is another option, the goal line here. He says if they faked it and booted Baker, it would have worked.
Yeah,
You go ahead.
that
You
too.
have to be out there. Yeah, you fake it out. I like that.
And that's the way to get Baker mobile. Maybe you give like one receiving option as well, one of the tight ends. So, yeah, I mean, we can all Monday morning or Sunday afternoon quarterback it. All right, 8:09 to go in the second quarter. It looks like Bryce Young was not expecting the snap. Just a weird-ass play. And missed tackle. JPP is on the field as well as the other Evans. Make something out of nothing.
All right, Tampa, they got to win 2 out of 3 here. And, of course, Carolina needs to win the 2 matchups they have against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot on the line.
That is correct. JPP to the outside.
Drops back into coverage. 36-year-old JPP back in coverage. Golly.
I'm sorry. Come on.
He's going to be 37 next month.
Yeah, New Year's Day, I believe, is. I'm sorry. This is just ridiculous. JPP hasn't played in 2 years. You bring him back. Drop back in coverage. I've seen it all.
All right, 3rd and 2. Brayson's going to pass it.
Nice.
Outside the reach of Tep.
Yo, we got to give credit where credit's due. That's great coverage by Benjamin Morrison.
Yep.
He was step for step, stride for stride with Tep McMillan. And job well done. Hey, we've been harsh on the guy all season long. Great coverage by Benjamin Morrison. Definitely have to give him his credit there.
All right, the Buccaneers defense gets another stop here. It'll work by them. All right, Cam Johnson can get about to the 21-yard line. Diesel to watch the fake. Luckily, they didn't fake it. They're in 4th and 2. Steinberger Sports. Bulls is playing 400 D chess with dropping back JPP in coverage.
Jamil Jones says, we need 7. Yeah,
Yes.
obviously you want 7, but any points here gives the Bucs a 2-score lead. Now, obviously they had that against Atlanta. It didn't make a difference, but could take anything that you can get. Real BS says, who's 97? Gotsis? Yeah, Adam Gotsis. He's been on the practice squad all season long. He's had a couple of game day elevations. Hughes 44 says, okay, let's hit the reset button. Come on, Bake. I want to see play action on the first play of this drive. Bucs clearly have committed to the run, and I think, I don't want to speak for you, but I think we're in agreement. Like, there's no problem with that. I think they've been running it efficiently enough, but time to hit them with a big strike, especially given that there's.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm sorry for getting off, but
no, you're good. Especially because there's 7 and change left to go in the half. Bucs get the ball to start the third quarter as well. You can get a little bit of a double dip type of thing. Diesel says, I swear I was about to say the same thing, Matt. Hey, great minds think alike. And I hope you're right, Diesel. As he says, play action to Mech here.
And he said he's in the contention also for Rookie of the Year. Both these guys, they came into this game with almost identical stat lines.
Yeah.
6 touchdowns each. Ted McMillan had 59 receptions, and Emeka 58 receptions. Both of them have 850 or a little bit more yards from that standpoint. But their stat line is identical. One of them has to create separation, and they could win this award. I think both will hit 1K yards this season. There's, maybe it'll be a little bit harder for Emeka, of course, since Mike Evans and Chris Godwin Jr. is back. But I think that will hit 1K for sure. But these two guys, almost identical stat line. Hope one of them could create some separation here. And hopefully in favor of Emeka for Bucs fans.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully in favor of him. JP Easy says they are setting up a flea flick. I love a good comical comment, so appreciate it. Jameel Jones wants to know what's JPP's number. He's 91, so he was 90 for all of his career with the Giants and his first stint with the Bucs, but this time around he is 91 because Logan Hall wears number 90. Okay, Bucs ran it for a short gain on first. Ashley says, are they scared to throw? What the hell? All right, 2nd and 9 with 6:52 to go. 84 rush yards already for Tampa Bay. A lot of that Bucky Irving. Yeah, only 35 passing yards for Baker, but 10 points and scores on each drive. It's a screen pass / swing pass to Bucky. Makes it a 3rd and short.
We get a flag here in the field.
Definitely going to be ineligible receiver downfield.
Yeah.
That's my guess. Okay, they called it on Graham Barton.
Illegal blindside.
Oh, damn. That's a tough one. $5 says Grizzard runs it. 2nd down. Let's see. Oh, come on. Screen. That's not a blind. He's running after Bucky. That's not a blindside block. It's funny thinking like 10 years ago, that's just a great hustle play by Graham Barton. Now it's a personal foul. What happened to the game I loved? Or the game I love?
All right, long 2nd and 20 here. Baker connects with Otten.
Dude, get some gloves. He bobbled that. Get some gloves, Kate Otten. I don't know if it's noticeable on the screen, but being at practice this week, Kate Otten had a gigantic brace on his knee.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It's right knee, right?
Yeah, credit to him for toughing it out, but damn, that's going to slow him down. All right, 3rd and 13 for Tampa Bay. 5:25 to go in this 2nd quarter. Baker has time. No, he doesn't. Never mind.
That's Boozman the inside.
He is sacked. First sack of the game for Carolina. He was a player we spoke about on the Pewter pregame show today. Let's see how he got to Baker Mayfield.
A nice stunt. Is lined up over Feeney, the right guard. Just brings it across to the left side.
Whew.
Man, that's just a good play by.
Yeah, I can't even really be upset with the O-line. That's quite the trajectory. Bucs just get the punt away. Not the best by Riley Dixon. Nice tackle by the long snapper. Carolina has their best field position of the game. Evan Kirk says, now it's going to be tied up. Thanks, Grizzard. Hey, it's tough to come back from a 2nd and 20. Keita Villain says Grizzard sucks. Damn, a lot of hate for Josh Grizzard. Guy put up 28 points last week. Ron the Buck says, here comes the spiral. 4:25 to go.
And because that returned at the 39-yard line of Tampa Bay, and Rico Dow gets the little pitch. Buccaneers are there to stop him, and Jacob Parrish are part of that group.
Nice play. Parrish technically gets the tackle. Benjamin Morrison kind of swung him around, and then he crashed into, I think, like the backside of Jacob Parrish. They're going to show the replay, it looks like. Yeah, BMO kind of swings him around.
Oh, no, okay, not a face mask.
Yeah.
Grabs his collar. All right, empty set for Bryce Young here, 2nd and 11.
Opportunity as well. You get a sack here. You kind of push them on the brink of field goal range, but never mind. They're just going to get a first down. So
yeah, it was close. First down for Ted McMillan.
Virgin Boy says, I hate this defense so much. By the way, don't think I got to this. I missed a couple of super chats, but David Dosher, thank you so much for this $4.99 super chat. Says, JT Gray and Marcus Banks added to the special teams. Mississippi State alumni. Y'all remember Jonathan Banks? Yeah, of course, do remember Jonathan Banks. Yeah, the JT Gray. That's a little bit of the roster movement yesterday. But thank you for the super chat. And I don't know, does Mississippi State, I know Texas A&M, they say Gig'em, and Hail State, I think is what you say for Mississippi State. So Hail State. Thank you for the super chat, David Dosher.
Thank you, buddy.
Aaron Watson, thanks for the $1.99. Says Mike TD with the flex as well. Appreciate it. We'll get to the next 2 super chats from Dominic Cherry after this play. 2nd and 10 for Carolina. Oh, Yaya was so close. Young looking for McMillan. The shoe comes flying off of Jacob Parrish, but he gets what needs to be done, and that's an incompletion.
Sticky coverage, and Ted McMillan is not a small guy. He's basically a young Mike Evans. He's what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, they let those guys play. They let Jacob Parrish and Ted play on that one. That was really close, but great coverage.
For sure.
And the last 2 plays almost gets to the quarterback. He got the QB hit there.
Bryce Young's kind of lucky he fell into the lineman, because that would have been like a crushing hit if it went straight to the ground, but he's able to cushion the blow a little bit.
And look
there
at
you go. I'm loving this coverage by the Bucs. Rookie defensive backs. Jacob Parrish and BMO on that one specifically. And Tampa Bay is going to hold Carolina to a field goal.
What did Todd say this week? He said, you're going to see the Benjamin Morrison we drafted, right, in the 2nd round of Notre Dame. And we're seeing it so far. Great play by him. Sticky coverage. Jacob Parrish to play before that. Wow. I like this. More. Carl G says Morrison is better than Zion.
I thought the kick was going wide a little bit, but it is good. So Carolina cuts into the Bucs lead, now 10-6. But hey, with 2:06 to go, there's a fantastic opportunity for the Bucs to double dip with getting points here and then getting the ball at the half. So listen, we've criticized the Bucs all season long, our defense, but 6 points at the half, hopefully, is not too shabby. All right, let me tweet that out. Big time by rookies. Jacob Parrish and Benjamin Morrison. on those lists.
Carl G says Zion should void his contract. Now we have to see more from Benjamin Morrison. We can't be prisoners of the moment.
Sure, yeah.
But
no doubt.
So far, positive stuff here.
By the way, Dominic Cherry, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says stupid pass, Baker or bad play call, needs 4 yards. Yeah, sorry about not getting to that earlier. And then Dominic Cherry with another $1.99 super chat, thank you, says, is it me or does Baker stare down Mike a lot? Well, Mike just got back. I would say he doesn't stare down Mike enough. Not that you want your quarterback staring down, but should always be looking Mike Evans' way.
What's the meme? Just throw it up. Mike Evans is down there somewhere.
Yeah, they used to say that for Jameis, but it definitely
because Jameis has the vision issues a little bit with the squinting. Yeah. Just throw it up. If you remember the Chicago Bears game where Jameis ran like 30 yards backwards, all trying to evade the pressure, the defender just tosses it up, throws it up, and Mike Evans was down there down the field. Those days with Jameis Winston were fun, and there are no real wins, but those were fun.
So much fun. At the time I was working it's like a part-time weekend job. It was like part of the Bucs bunting crew. So like you'd go to the stadium 3-4 hours before the game and you'd put up like the things you see around like the 100 level section and stuff like that. And then you stay for the game. You actually help bring out the American flag for like kickoff and stuff. And then you take everything down after the game. But when the game's going on, you're sitting in this like it's a huge room, but it's like a big break room type of thing. And I still remember because like you have it on the TV, but obviously when it's happening live, it's like 3 seconds before you see it on the TV. I just remember the roar from the crowd, and then like seeing it's like, oh damn, like what the hell did James do? And then it's like, oh, what a catch by Mike. So that was a cool moment. A lot of moments for sure when
30 for 30 at the end.
Jameis was the quarterback. Yeah, that too. Obviously, Mike still making moments.
Yep.
For this team, as Michael LaRue says, Mike Evans needs 715 yards to get to 1K. Still holding on hope. I respect it. I respect it. Flaccavelli says, time to break tendencies. I get the feeling, because this is probably going to be a little bit more of a 2-minute type of offense. I get the feeling to start the third quarter is when we're going to see, and naturally you see that anyway with adjustments and stuff like that. But I think that's when we're going to see the, play action and maybe throwing a little bit more on first down. I think that's when we're going to get the essential bait and switch, if you will.
We have some Tim Burton's calling for play action right now. I agree with him. Dash Mal, who loves Chris Braswell. He's the leader of the Chris Braswell fan club. He's calling for play action also. He says, yes, play action bomb. Steven here too. Steven Zeal says time for a play action bomb as well. I'm for it. Who are you going to hit, though? Who's going to be the guy running deep? Is it going to be J-Mac? Is it going to be Tez? Who are you going to hit? Mike? Who would you hit?
Yeah. I'm going to go Jalen McMillan. I think, obviously, he's only played one game, but if you go back to last season, he's kind of more of their big play guy. Yep. So I think Jalen McMillan, I think it's time for his number to get called again. Only has one catch in the game, but nope, Bucs are going to run it because, I don't know, that's what they do.
S14 BST says, or just run up the middle again. Yeah, that's great. 3-yard gain here.
Q's44 says we've turned into Army. Yeah, just a lot of running. All right, 2nd and 7. Each team has all 3 of their timeouts. Ideally, you don't want to give the ball back to Carolina. Baker pump fakes, throws over the middle. Ugh, ugly throw. That's the
ugly snap, too. A little bit low as well.
Yeah, everything was kind of surprising.
All right, but the incompletion now sets up a 3rd and 7. You don't want to give Carolina the ball again. And they still have 3 timeouts as well.
That is true. Yeah, let's get another replay on this throw. Pump fake, steps up. Had to throw it kind of low just due to the coverage, but yeah, still not what you want.
Looks like Luke jumped. False start.
Just made it more difficult. Justin Herbert just threw a backhand pass to Keenan Allen. Do you remember that time that Mike Evans and Keenan Allen were like talking smack to each other on social media?
Yeah. Yep.
And then Keenan brought Chris. It started because I think Keenan Allen tweeted something at Chris Godwin, and he tagged the wrong Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans is like,
"Oh yeah.
One, you tagged the wrong Chris Godwin. Two, that's my boy." As they try to screen to Chris Godwin Jr. Oh, Mike Evans caught the flag. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but Mike caught the flag. I hope they show a replay of that. That was freaking funny. I hope they show that. They probably won't.
That whole drive was ugly. The run for 3 yards, the false start by Luke, the bad snap, the 4th down play, the screen, all ugly. Give Carolina Panthers the ball back with 1:17. Not too much time, but they do have 3 timeouts still.
Riley Dixon punts it away. That was freaking funny. Chris Braswell, what do you know? Braswell on the tackle.
Kid the Villain says, "I'm tired of this game." It's always stressful with the Bucs, right?
No doubt about it. It seems like that's all. They either get blown out or they play the tightest of tight games.
Yep.
Scotty J says, Grizzard is a high school offense coordinator. I'd like to see them be a little more downfield. They haven't in this game. And you know what? Carolina's defense is really good too. J.C. Horn, 5 interceptions. Mike Jackson, a couple of interceptions.
3 interceptions.
They do have they really do have a lot of good players on the defensive side. So I don't think it's the worst thing to be a little conservative, but with under 2 minutes to go, I think you got to let it fly just a little bit.
But I would also, to counter that point a little bit, I agree with you. That the outside corners for Carolina, I think that's their strength with Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn. But I would take Mike Evans over J.C. Horn any day of the week, or Chris Godwin, or Emeka Buka. I'll take my guys. So I wouldn't be so scared. What MJ, Mr. Jarvie, the Tampa Bay screeners.
I like that. I like the super chat as well. Thank you to David Dosher for this $1.99. It says, what to order at walk-ons? Love this question. Oh, man, there's a lot of different options you can go with. I would say get the wings. Their wings are spectacular. Fantastic. If you're in the mood for something a little more handheld, though, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the Blackjack something, and it's a burger with caramelized onions, and it's fat and it's dank.
You make me hungry.
You definitely get the bang for your buck. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's the Blackjack burger or something like that. It's got caramelized onions, so if you're a fan of that, that would be my suggestion. But can't go wrong with the wings. But thank you for the super chat. I like it. If anyone else wants me to order for them or us to order for them, please put it in the comments. Virgin Boys, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Says, get Grizzard off this team ASAP. He sucks. I don't know. I don't think 1 quarter of football in a tight game is going to be the ultimate deciding factor. Stan Glassman says, how great is the law firm who you advertise for? They are fantastic. Shout out to Jorgensen Law. Actually going to play their commercial at halftime. So shout out to Jorgensen Law.
All right, time's ticking here. Second and three for the Carolina Panthers. 45 seconds. Hand off to Reek. I guess it's first down.
They run it. Now, you have all 3 timeouts, so you can call on one. I imagine that's what Carolina will do here. It's not like college football. You don't get the brief second where the clock stops. Wow, Bucs have a 96% chance to win if they get the job done this afternoon. All right, 43 seconds to go. First and 10. Panthers just behind midfield. Young to the sidelines, caught by Leggett. Oh, they're saying incomplete, I think. Yep, incomplete. Yep, never got his left foot in bounds. Clear as day. Second and 10, 38 seconds to go. Panthers have 2 timeouts remaining. Now Leggett makes the catch, gets out of bounds, almost hits the assistant coach in the glasses. "31 seconds, and Carolina doesn't have to use a timeout as well. Might have to here as Savasi Dennis makes the tackle.
And they're in field goal range. Ryan Fitzgerald, he has a long of 57 this year, so they're already inside that.
Good to note. Scotty J said, "Oh, sorry, wrong comment." Scotty J says, "Effing soft zone." Mr. King 03, love this comment. Says, "F it, engage 8." Yes, that's the a play you can use in Madden on the defensive side of the ball. Carl G
Madden,
says,
I go heavy man. I hate zone.
Yeah.
I play aggressive.
As Carl G says, does Bowles know there's something called man defense? They played a little bit more man today. That last drive, we were praising Benjamin Morrison. And,
yep.
Well, first it was Jacob Harrison and Benjamin Morrison. Second and 8, 26 seconds to go. 1 timeout remaining for Carolina. Young completes the pass. First down. Canales calls his last timeout. I probably would have saved it there. I guess you got to rally everyone up and all that stuff. Coker with the catch. So before I tweeted out when Mike Evans caught the flag, and shout out to the ghost of accountability who says refs throwing at Evans more than the Bucs are.
Good one. I didn't see the Mike Evans catch of the flag, so I hope there's a clip somewhere and go back and see that. All right, first and 10 here for Carolina. Bryce Young drops
one
back.
Or 2 shots at the end zone.
Yep.
Nope, just dumps it off.
Dumps it down. About a 7 or 8 yard gain for Rico.
Making this a chip shot field goal.
If you could get another one, well, if you're Carolina, if you're Dave Canales, I would take one shot maybe in the end zone.
I
But
agree. Yeah, you have enough time for one, maybe two, depending on how much time is left. But
and if
yeah,
Tet's
it's
going to
one
be
of those.
isolated down here, it's Tet
Yeah,
versus Jalen Dean, Jamel Dean.
one of those things too. Like obviously, Tampa Bay knows that they want to take a shot at the end zone, so they're gonna blitz Antoine Winfield
And they
Jr.
do it.
Oh
Oh,
God, he
I
got
called it.
beat.
It happened.
Congratulations to Tet McMillan. He has now won Offensive Rookie of the Year.
7
Man,
touchdowns now in the season.
I mean, everyone knew that the Panthers had to go for the end zone there. I get being aggressive, but like, why there?
They blitzed in, I believe, Antoine Winfield on that play, but you had
Yeah.
one Jamel Dean versus Tet. Ted's the bigger body receiver. He's the younger version of a type of, not necessarily Mike Evans, but the same body frame essentially.
Whew. All right. Well, Bucs were leading a majority of this game, but not anymore. They trail 13-10. Let me update the score. Bucs do get the ball to start the third quarter, but at this point, no one cares about that. And it's complimentary football in the worst way. You know, Bucs can't move the ball that well.
Yeah.
A quick drive, maybe even a 3 and out, and then bad punt coverage leads to great field position or better field position, and poor defense allows for Carolina to take the lead. Just made no sense. I get it. You want to get the sack, you want to create a spark and make a play, but it made no sense to leave one-on-one coverage when you know Carolina had to go to the end zone. It's just not good football. And Baker will come on and probably take a knee. I mean, there's nothing you can do with 2 seconds.
Russman says, good night, PR. Almost midnight this side of the world. Game's not worth staying up for. Well, I don't know
Where
where
you
you
watching
are,
from?
but thank you for watching, man, and have a great day.
Yeah,
Have a
let
great night.
us know. Yeah, appreciate your support. Yeah, definitely let us know. I'm very thirsty. I'm thirsty for points for the Bucs, but I'm very thirsty. I'm gonna grab a water real quick. So why don't we take like a quick 2-minute break? I'm gonna get some water, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Awesome.
All right. Appreciate everybody rocking and rolling with us. As you see on the screen, we will have a Pewter post game show after the game. Hopefully, the Bucs find a way to come back as they trail 13-10 at halftime. Matt Matera, Daniel Morales on the broadcast. Daniel, give me your overarching thoughts for what happened in the first half. Things you liked, things you didn't like. Let us
No,
know.
I like the play of Jamel. I'm sorry, not Jamel Dean, not the play of Jamel Dean because he got beat on that 10 touchdown, but
Yeah.
the play of Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish, those two young rookie corners on offense. I like the commitment to the run, but you got to use play action off of that. You got to marry play action off of the run. You've been, effective to an extent. I over 84 yards on the ground this first half. You got to marry play action off that. Take some shots down the field. I think Baker Mayfield, for the most part, has been accurate. He's had accuracy issues. We talked about this at the beginning of the broadcast. I want to see a more accurate version of Baker Mayfield. I think we're seeing that here today. But I feel like they're being a little bit too conservative. They're not allowing Baker Mayfield to kind of sling it around. I think you take the chains off and you say, Baker, go out there and win us this game. You can use the run game, of course. You can still don't go one-dimensional, just pass it all day. But I would like to see a little bit more balance and a little bit of play action off of the run game. How about you, Matt?
I agree with a lot of what you have to say. I mean, I think the defense up until that touchdown have been playing fine. Like I
Yes.
think the reality of the NFL today, if you're not allowing touchdowns, that's a win. And I think if the Bucs go into halftime winning 10-9, you feel okay about what the defense has done. Kind of the same story, not generating pressure. You play JPP to hopefully get a spark. He hasn't really provided much in that aspect of it. Benjamin Morrison's playing well. I think the return of Tyke Smith has kind of paid off. But then, you have that slip up at the end of the half, and now you're losing. And I agree with everything you said on the offensive side. Like, the commitment to the run is good. It's just, when are you setting up the play action? When are you setting up the big play? And they just haven't. And John Gruden, obviously everyone here knows John Gruden, what he means to the team and the organization and everything. He likes to use this line. He says, you either feel pressure or you apply pressure. And I'm not saying that the Bucs are feeling pressure with the magnitude of the game, but they're certainly not applying the pressure. To your point, yes, the Panthers have good coordinators, but you have Mike as I guess is a semi Gruden impression. You got Mike freaking Evans, man. Like a Hall of Fame, hopefully first ballot Hall of Famer, but a Hall of Fame wide receiver nonetheless. Apply the pressure with Mike Evans. Manufacture getting him the football. And they really didn't after their first touchdown scoring drive. And I don't understand why. Now, obviously, we can look at the tape after this game and maybe see, oh wow, they double teamed Mike way more than we thought, or whatever the case may be. But, you've seen Carolina get the ball to Tat McMillan. Bucs should be able to find a way to get the ball to Mike Evans. Let's get to a couple super chats. Brandon Hardman, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Says, this offense sucks. It slowed down. It slowed down once again. We've seen this before. If they have a good first drive, they're not able to duplicate it not long after. So I think they'll play better in the second half. Part of me, let's remember, Josh Grisard went to Yale, smart guy. Part of me thinks he is setting up to dupe Carolina's defense. Now, will it be right away? Hopefully. That remains to be seen. Amazement 717, thank you for this $4.99 super chat. Says, we all seem to think that Bowles is an average coach. What is it specifically do you guys think he's lacked that makes him a Super Bowl type coach for us? This is an interesting question, and I like the question, Amazement 717. Let's see. I would have said in-game management, but then he hired Zach Beistein, and he's tried to right some of those wrongs. He's a player's coach, but I don't think he's necessarily a motivator. He certainly isn't a guy that's going to light the fire. And we've seen with two Super Bowl winning coaches in Tampa Bay, with John Gruden and Bruce Arians, they are the get in your face, light a fire under your ass type of head coach. And does every team need that? No, not necessarily. Sure feels like this team needs it, and Todd Bowles doesn't, provide that. And then just I don't know, I think decisions with player personnel and decisions with coaching staff, not firing guys, not making the right hires or staying with the same people. I think that's kind of been a detriment as well. So those were some things that I would point to. But what do you say, Daniel?
I agree with you on the motivation aspect. I think he's a complete 180 from Bruce Arians. He's stoic, he's just calm on the sidelines for the most part. And I think that gets a lot of fans frustrated. I think it was Guy 85 said that he looks like he's half asleep earlier in the very beginning of the game. I think that they need to find a true vocal leader for this defense, because a guy like Vontae David, he's a lead by example type of guy. Antoine Winfield Jr., Vita Vea, these guys aren't the get in your face type of players. If you're not going to be that type of coach, then you need those type of guys on your defense to hold players accountable. There are situational issues, as you mentioned. But I think he also lacks an edge rusher. This is, I think, the biggest issue on this team. Definitely. They thought Hassan Reddick was going to be that guy. He's definitely not that guy. He hasn't been this season. JPP, a 36-year-old JPP, it's a desperation move. He's not going to be that guy either. Chris Braswell wasn't that guy. He's not that guy. I think he needs to have a vocal leader on defense. He needs to bring in somebody, if they can find somebody to be, whether it's the draft or free agency, somebody who can be that aggressive, getting your face type of guy.
Yeah.
And also an edge rusher. They need to hit gold. They need to strike gold with an edge rusher this offseason, whether that's in with a trade, that's free agency, that's the draft. They have to get somebody, because that's what's hurting this defense to me. It's not having that consistent pressure, that pressure that turns into sacks, because they get close to the quarterback, but they don't get to quarterback down. So I don't want somebody who just gets there. That's the Joe Tryon-Shankos of the world. I want somebody who gets to the quarterback and brings them down. So motivation, I agree with you, and I think edge rusher is the biggest need for this team going into the offseason.
I think those are all exceptional points that you just made, and it's just something's missing, which is a big part of all of this. But let's get a quick message from our friends over at Jorgensen Law, the official law firm of PewterReport.com.
Welcome to Jorgensen Law PA, where our family's legacy drives us to fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury, workers' compensation, and Social Security, we're committed to winning for you. No fees unless we succeed. Trust in our family to help yours. Let's achieve justice together.
That's right. Jorgensen Law is the official law firm of PewterReport.com. They sponsor every injury-related story that we do, because they are the champions of the injured and the disabled. You can give them a call at 727-347-7733. That's 727-347-7733. You get a free case evaluation when you meet up with Jorgensen Law, and their building and office is in St. Petersburg, Florida. There's no fees until they win your case. So sounds like a great deal. Big thanks to Jorgensen Law for being the official law firm of PewterReport.com. A couple super chats to get to. Easy the Great, thank you very much for the $1.99 super chat. Says, guard play is garbage. That blitz call was garbage. 9 out of 10 times, I will never complain about blitzing Antoine Winfield Jr. He's one of their best players on the team. But you knew they needed to go to the end zone. Why are you having less bodies there to just protect the end zone? Didn't like that call. And guard play, it hasn't stuck out like a sore thumb. So to me, that's a win. Dominic Cherry, thank you for the $1.99 super chat, says, why have all the receivers if we don't effing throw? I got you're committing to a certain game plan. Well, let's see what happens in the second half. I don't want to rush to judgment. Rush, because all they've been doing is running. But I don't want to rush to judgment just yet. Jonathan Ramuda, sorry if I'm not saying that right. Thanks for the $4.99 super chat, says, pulls off Brizard mask Scooby-Doo style. It's Byron Leftwich. That's funny. All for comedy. Only thing you can do is laugh through it. Dominic Cherry, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says Grizz is first year Dave, no digs, no crossing. Yeah, and why is there not a slant route? Why are the crossers were like the biggest thing that Liam Cohen brought to this team? And it was fantastic. Because again, we're talking about wasn't like the offense was good last year with Liam Cohen. It was great, and Baker Mayfield had the best year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
I understand wanting to have wanting to have your own imprint, but at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. D-Buck, thanks for the $5 super chat, says it all starts in how you practice. There's no consistency with this team. I think that's a good point.
Interesting point, real quick, Matt. Jared McCoy talked about players not doing what they're supposed to be doing throughout the entire week. You're there at practice every day. How's the energy? Is there people being held accountable? How's the energy out there in practice every single day?
Yeah, I don't think there's been as much of a sense of urgency as there needs to. And I don't know if it's because it's still like, hey, if we just beat Carolina, then we're in. It's a little too kumbaya, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think guys should be angry. I think guys should be pissed off. You know, Todd Bowles can F-bomb his way through a press conference when you lose to Atlanta, but I don't know. Seems a little hollow with his efforts. And, you know, it's good that they actually freaking practiced this week because they've had so many walkthroughs. I think actually practicing kind of helps the team dial in a little bit more. And Geist85, thank you for this $2 super chat. Says Bowles and Grizz equals Lloyd and Harry talking about Dumb and Dumber all time. Classic comedy movie. We're about to start the third quarter. Remember, the Bucs do get the ball, so we'll see what immediate adjustments Josh Grizzard has made. By the way, Anthony Nelson has been ruled out for the rest of the game with a knee injury, so no A. Nelly the rest of the way. So maybe that means a little bit more JPP or more Chris Braswell. Whoop-de-doo. Let's get some damn play action.
Yes, let's do it. Let's get also like a Baker scramble. Hype up this. I don't feel like the offense has enough energy.
I agree with you tenfold. And Baker provides that with his runs, with his scrambles. But I had a feeling Carolina was going to be ready to stop the Baker runs, whether it's QB spy or just pass rushing in the right lanes. And so far, that's been big. Aaron DeBuck says run, pass, pass. Or sorry, run, pass, punt. The Grizzard play plan. I mean, that's what it has been. Okay. Bucs start the next drive.
Play action.
Hey!
We'll roll out. It goes nowhere, but we finally see it.
It's what do they say with gift giving is the thought that counts?
Yep. Hits Tad's underneath, goes for actually a loss of 1 yard, makes it 2nd and 11. But I just like to see play action. Come on. Again, Mary.
We ran play action. We lost a yard.
You don't just stop it though. You gotta continue to execute it. You gotta execute it better. You gotta call in the right situations.
2nd and 11. There's that run. Bucky Irving gets a couple yards. Bucky Irving goes, 40 yards passing for Baker Mayfield. It's unreal. I'll check the stats in a moment. That probably puts the team total passing yards a little bit less because with the sack that Baker had earlier, they subtract the team total passing yards from it. All right, 3rd and 7. Panthers bring a blitz. Bucs pick it up. There's that Baker scramble.
There's a scramble.
Baker's going to get it and more. Whoo! Baker Mayfield. Not sure of the exact number, but it's enough.
Good coverage.
Oh,
Too.
yeah,
Nowhere to
wide
go with the
open.
Yeah.
Wide open. Well done by Baker, and great call by you as well with the Baker run.
Hypes up the team, gets them fired up.
Play action. Come on. A little motion. Nice hole by the generated by the Bucs offensive line. Picks up about 6 yards for Bucky Irving. See, it's like those plays, if they got that consistently every running play, then it's like, fine, never throw the ball again. But you can't guarantee for that each time. Bucs getting into field goal range, but they're thinking a tutty. 2nd and 4. Oh, very close. Just a yard short. Make it 3rd and 1. Scorton's been everywhere today. Damn. Bucs go shotgun on this 3rd and 1.
Handoff up the middle. Bucky gets the first. There we go.
Gets just enough.
Keeps the drive alive.
I respect it. No problem running it there. I never loved running out of shotgun on a 3rd and
Me
short,
neither.
but let's be honest, they've been so bad when it's been, line up under center, need a half a yard, and they get stuffed. Obviously, the infamous 1,000 goal line attempts against the Saints in New Orleans. So, there's always exceptions to the rule. We got the pony package.
And it's actually the wild.
Wild buck. Oh, it's back to the pony.
Almost got Wildcat.
Baker got the happy feet, slings it out to Rachaad White. Make something out of nothing. I love that. Yeah, dancing around a little bit, but overall ends up being fine. 2nd and 8 for Tampa Bay. They'll stay in shotgun. Kind of weird with the stadium right now. There's like a lot of shadows, but then a little bit of sunlight as Bucky goes, whoop! Makes one player miss.
Yeah, with the way the shade's going, I wouldn't want to be the receiver on the right side of the field.
Oh, God.
In your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, keys where it's been all Bucky just drive for the most part. Rachaad White did come in, and now it looks like the camera pans back.
Yeah, I saw Rachaad, but just
Rachaad
pony.
Yeah.
Bucs got all top 4 of their receivers. No tight ends on this play. They bring a blitz. Rachaad White picks it up. Chris Godwin Jr., that's a 1st down Tampa Bay. I like it. No disrespect to Kate On, but you got 4 really good. You have one great wide receiver, a really good receiver, a good receiver, and a solid receiver. I'll take that all day versus just throwing Kate On in there.
And Smith Wade, the nickel. I thought the Buccaneers game plan on offense was going to be passing, a bit more than they have, of course, today. But Smith Wade, the nickel corner, he's allowed a 79.5% completion percentage this whole year. That's insane. 31 receptions allowed on 39 targets. That is wild. A little end around there too. J-Mac doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Would have liked for him to break that tackle. Looked like he could have broke through.
But we're giving up almost 80% of the receptions that are going your way. The targets that are going your way. I would hit Chris Godwin more this game when he's going up against Smith Wade.
Yeah, you're right. That is surprising they didn't try to make that a point of weakness.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving stands next to Baker, who's in shotgun. He's got Ibuka and Mike Evans to the left. They're going to run a draw play with Bucky. Sets up a 3rd and about 4, I'll say. Maybe 3rd and 5. 3rd and 6. What do I know? Just an odd game. Baker only has 47 passing yards, but he's certainly been a lot more accurate, being 10 of 13. Mm-hmm. This is a 7-minute drive, too. I like these long, sustaining drives. I'd like to see a little bit more of it. Got McMillan as the lone receiver to the right side. Oh, Baker throws. Got Rachaad White. And he's down to the 1. Well done, Baker, finding the open receiver. Comes in the form of running back Rachaad White. Bucs will have 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Very cool.
I was watching the 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen, and out of nowhere, Rachaad White just opened.
Yeah.
He gets hit. There we go. 1st and goal.
At this point, too, I think we've become so accustomed to Rachaad White staying in the backfield and pass blocking. Sean Tucker's in the game. Will he get the ball?
1-on-1.
Nope, they're looking for Mike Evans. Mike in the end zone. Oh, incomplete. And the guy on the sideline almost gets taken out as well.
Mike won the goal line matchup for the first touchdown of the game, but
yeah,
a little bit.
Mike kind of just missed that. I wonder if the sun played a little bit of a factor. Love this comment from George Snyder, and he says the dreaded 1st and goal from the 1. Ooh, what do you do here? Do you run it? Okay, now they got Mike
again, isolated 1-on-1.
Oh, it's a fake pitch. How's that not a penalty?
There we go.
Late flag. Mike Evans willed it into existence.
Anytime on the goal line here that they're seeing Mike, covered 1-on-1, they're throwing it up to him, and it didn't work with the previous pass when he's working against Mike Jackson, but it worked there with the pass interference right there.
I think you run in on this play.
Yeah.
I also like the creativity as well. They fake the pitch, they fake the handoff to Bucky, then the pitch to Rachaad, and then threw Mike on a slant versus Mike, with the fade. And Sean Tucker's in the game. They're going to run it with Shawnee Thompson. He's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay, as they regain the lead. And if you watch Pewter Picks and Props, my Pewter Parlay was a Mike Evans anytime touchdown, a Sean Tucker anytime touchdown, and Jalen McMillan over 18.5 receiving yards. So we're a couple of yards away from Jalen McMillan from hitting that Pewter Parlay as Chase McLaughlin comes on for the extra point, and it is good. Bucs regain their lead. They are up 17-13, taking a very long time, but a great to score on that drive. And if it ends up in 7 points, I don't care how you go about it. So, job well done, as the Real Maverick says, talk. Ashley says TD, Tony Kona, TD, Dave Dosher, TD with a couple of exclamation points. Let's go. Free subtitles AI says, Matty Ice, parlay looking good. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, as Kobe once said, job not finished. They still need to get the ball to Jalen McMillan a little bit more, which, by the way, let's take a look at the stats for Tampa Bay in this game.
And Keys 44 says 44 power.
Yes.
He's pleased. Sean Tucker's pleased. Josh Grisard, the whole fan base right now is pleased with that touchdown. Long drive, as he stated. But let's get into the stats here.
Yeah, you know what? Let me tweet that out. Yeah, it's PLE. When does he use the 44? I think it's for the EA, maybe?
Yeah, I can't recall.
I gotta look.
There's a 3.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah. Or Q's 44, you know. You can drop in the chat when he puts the post out there, the pleased.
Yeah, he uses it as the EA.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's PL44 SED. PL44 SED. Okay, shout out Sean Tucker. Interesting dude. Okay, yes, the stats. Baker Mayfield is 11 of 15 for 60 yards. Just a wild stat. But has a touchdown pass and a QB rating of 102. Bucky Irving leading the way on the ground for Tampa Bay is 16 attempts for 62 yards. Has a long of 12. Averaging 3.9. Rachaad White, 5 for 45. Has the longest run of the game by anybody with 39 yards, but 5 for 45. Baker, 2 scrambles for 22 yards. Sean Tucker, 4 attempts for 3 yards, but has the ever-important go-ahead touchdown. And Jalen McMillan got a yard on his end-around play. Receiving-wise, not a lot to write home. Chris Godwin Jr., 4 catches, but only for 17 yards, and he leads the Bucs in receiving. Now, you're not going to see a ton when you only have 60 yards passing. Rachaad White is 2 of 15. Mike Evans, 2 of 13, has a touchdown. And Jalen McMillan, 1 of 10. So need 9 more yards from Jalen McMillan, but more importantly, it's better if the Bucs win. Let's see. Kate Otten, 1 for 6. Emeka Buka, no catches, no yards, just 1 target. And Tez Johnson, on the first play of the second half, caught a pass, but for a negative yard. So he's 1 catch and negative 1 yard receptions. And Travase Dennis leads the Bucs in tackles with 5. He has a sack, but remember Bryce Young fell and he was the beneficiary of it. And then real quick with Carolina getting the ball, Bryce Young, 12 of 20, 107 yards and a touchdown. Not a lot of rushing for Carolina. Jimmy Horn, 1 for 25. Rico Dowdle, 6 for 23. Chuba Hubbard, 2 of 7. Tet McMillan leads the way, 4 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Rico Dowdle, 3 of 14. Mitchell Evans, 2 of 13. Xavier Legette, 1 of 12. Jalen Coker, 1 of 8. And Jatavian Sanders, 1 of 3. Christian Roseboom, the talented inside linebacker, leads the way with 8 tackles, and he has the lone sack for Carolina.
And Matt, we just got a false start before the first play of the drive here for Carolina. It's going to be on the right guard, Austin Corbett. 1st and 15 now, backs him up.
By the way, thank you to the super chat to Mr. King, who says, is there any running back on this team aside from number 7? Yeah, I mean, they like to ride the hand of Bucky and then go to Sean Tucker in the red zone. Bryce Young going to step up, scramble.
Almost like a spear by Hassan Reddick. Get Bryce Young down to the ground.
Mr. King says, I know, I just don't like the fact that they're going to give Bucky 20 carries. Yeah, I hear you. Vicarious Send says, hey, Matt, is there a reason the Bucs don't use more play actions? They've been play action heavy in other games, but I can't explain why they're not doing so today, especially with how much they've run it as Chuba Hubbard runs for a first down. Levante David went play. Yeah, Dennis couldn't make the play. Jamel couldn't get off the block quick enough. What did Levante David take out? I couldn't tell. First and 10 for Carolina. Now they go play action. Ah, man. Levante was in that no man's land of he didn't know whether to stay with the tight end or go after Bryce Young. And he started committing towards Young, and he's able to complete the pass. Which is tough, too, because Gotsis was in pursuit, and Levante just missed it as well. Five seconds to go on the play clock. Nice swim move by Logan Hall. Can't get to Young, and just inexplicably missed him on the dive on that next play. Ends up being a 5-yard gain, but probably should have been maybe a 1-yard, 2-yard gain. How did he miss that?
He went for the swipe, missed it completely. Bryce Young making something out of nothing here. 2nd and 6. JPP back out there on the field.
JPP.
There he is.
Little screen to Ted McMillan. Make it a 3rd and short. Could be 2 down territory. Let's see JPP make a play.
All right, 3rd and 1.
A long one. 1 second left on the play clock. They get the snap off. Young to the outside. Oh, man. It's caught by McMillan. Tight coverage again by Benjamin Morrison. I can't.
Yeah, that was good coverage.
Really his fault, though. That's just a good play.
Good throw, good catch. Tech comes back, just turns his body around to the ball. Bryce put in the perfect spot also. You can't really blame Benjamin for that one. That was just good. Good pass, good catch.
A little crappy, but whatever. You can get away with it.
Let the boys play.
He got his arm in there, too. Just
Yep.
Not well done by McMillan.
Oh, design QB keep here.
Wow.
Remember that hurt the Buccaneers against the Saints. Tyler Shook had 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely. And Morrison kind of got steamrolled on the block as well. Excuse me.
Yeah, they're showing the comparison now for Emeka Buka and Ted McMillan. 6 receptions for Ted, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. 1 target for Emeka Buka, 0 receptions, 0 touchdowns, of course. Now, Ted is the wide receiver 1 for the Carolina Panthers, where now because Mike Evans is back and Chris Godwin and J-Mac, he's not – Emeka Buka is not the wide receiver 1 for this team like he was earlier in the season with all the injuries.
That is very true.
First down here on the ground. Chuba Hubbard. All right, the Bucs defense, their back is against the wall here. You want to bend, but don't break. Just give the field goal, not the touchdown. But I'm sure Bryce is going to look down there to you on the right side. Ted McMillan.
Can the Bucs get a turnover?
That would be big.
Be timely.
Whoa. Great
coverage man.
by Jacob Parrish. Look at that rookie corner.
Yeah.
Gets his hand in there, says, not today.
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay because I thought he had time to kind of turn and catch it versus just knocking it down. I know it's nitpicky. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish he would have. He had his hand around him, so I guess it wasn't available. All right, 2nd and 10. Technically, the Panthers can get a first down.
Yeah.
They're going to run it. Ooh, Monte got pushed hard. But goes for a short gain. Big chance for Tampa Bay.
And because of that long extended drive by the Buccaneers, and this drive too, but we're about to end the third quarter already. We're about to get into the fourth quarter. So quick.
Pretty wild. Bucs bring 4. I don't know what the hell
I can't get to him.
doing. Oh my God, they miss him all over the place.
No. I couldn't bring him down. Touchdown Carolina. That's a tight end, Jatavion Sanders. Man, wild play.
I mean, this is the exact same thing we saw. What, 2 weeks ago? Also, it looked like they missed an egregious hold. Yeah, I mean, Yaya essentially got tackled on the play, but
man,
whew. Extra point is good. Panthers regain the lead. They're up 20-17.
And Bryce Young, 5'10", 204. If you're Yaya, you got your arms around him. You got to find a way to bring him down. I know he got tackled behind and all these issues, but man, you got to bring him down. I feel like they always get too close, but they don't bring the quarterback down. That's the issue. Look at Logan Hall.
Tweet that out.
KKDD22 says, leave these guys in Carolina. Holding much.
It was definitely a hold, but I mean, still should have got the play done. Ooh, where was it? Keita Villain says, Jason Light, a clown for not getting an edge rusher, is a clown.
He thought
guy 89. Logan Hall, what the F? Stubby Ryan says, first time Bryce's size was an advantage. I like that comment. Stan Glasson says, it was not a close call, clearly holding. It was a hold, for sure. Diesel says, hold or not, he had his hands on him and didn't make the play. I'm over it at this point. Defense as a whole is straight trash. And it follows the, the timeline of Bucs score a touchdown, defense immediately allows a touchdown. So not getting rid of that stereotype. It's not even a stereotype. It's just proof. Shout out to C.A. Reeves. Thank you for the kind comment. Says, at least we have Pewter Report. Only thing good about being a Bucs fan, this team needs a rebuild. There's no fixing this team in the next year or two. It's a full restart. And don't forget, Bucs fans, we cover this team all year round. We have podcasts in the off season as well. Daniel, you have a podcast as well. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about it?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Fear the Bay. So if you guys want to check out my content, I post a game preview. I'm also going to do content throughout the offseason. Also, I'm excited for the draft coverage and all those kind of things. And you guys do amazing content, of course, also. But yeah, Fear the Bay, you can catch me on YouTube there. And make sure you also subscribe and like to Pewter Report. You guys do tremendous content. The Rondé Barber interview earlier this week, I got to catch a little bit of it. I got to still finish it. But, man, great content that Pewter Report always puts out. I've always been a fan, of course. I'm happy to be a part of the team here. And thank you for allowing me to plug my channel. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everyone, like, subscribe, and make sure you're watching Fear the Bay podcast.
Thank you, buddy.
8 seconds to go in this third quarter. Got a couple super chats to get to as well. Actually, we'll do it after this play.
Cam Johnson stays on his feet.
Ayo!
There 2 big returns by Cam Johnson in today's game.
And he just saved Thomas McGahee's job. Eddie, thank you for this $2 super chat. Says, this is why fans want Bowles gone. His defense. I get it. Geist85, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, how can the Glazers keep such a bad defense? Bowles doesn't have a lot of people backing him, but it gets harder and harder to make a case for him. And then last super chat, Josh Weiss, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, sitting here with my girlfriend Meredith, new Bucs fan. Give her a shout out. Pewter Report. What up, Meredith? Shout out to you. Thanks for becoming a Bucs fan. Thank you to Josh and Meredith for watching the Pewter Game Day show. We appreciate your support. Hopefully the Bucs can rally for a win in this fourth quarter. So it's time to put your fours up, folks. I know people are mad and pissed and angry about the Bucs, but they got one more quarter to keep the season alive. And even if they lose, technically their season would still be alive if they can win and then beat Carolina the following week. So still a lot of football to go. But yeah, start putting those fours up as we'll get to the comments as well. Benjamin Hubbard throwing up some fours. Let me update the score bug as well.
Real BS 83 says this life ain't easy. He's talking about Meredith becoming a new Bucs fan.
Very
Peace,
true.
so God help you, Meredith.
Cincy Kid says 4 Bucs horsemen, wide receivers. Woo! Yeah, that's true.
Woo!
AJ Constant says the most famous lawyer in Cincy's phone number, where I am, is 444-444. Always think of that during our fours chant. Obviously, the only law firm I think about is Jorgensen Law. So shout out to them. Adam in P Park says, Matty Diamonds, tell me you played the over on Rachaad White. We spoke about it during the Pewter pregame show. I forgot to put that bet in. Totally honest, hand up. That's on me. I should have put that bet in. I was thinking about that when he ran it. But yeah, I forgot to. Wish I did. Oh, Greg Olson's at the game.
That drum's about to break.
Wait, what? Does he not have to? Greg Olson's like the number 2 color commentary guy for Fox. How does he not have a game today? That's weird.
Yeah,
I saw Mark Slayer.
Oh, Luke with the flat start. That's twice now. Great return by Cam Johnson. Now he's going to come back 5 yards. Doesn't ruin the drive, of course, but now 1st and 15 versus 1st and 10.
Right. Well, at least it might force Josh Grizzard to freaking throw the ball, man.
Don't worry, we'll still run right up the middle.
Yeah. Ooh, I got to plug in my charger.
The real Maverick said Olsen had the early game yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I caught the end of that Bears-Packers game. That was wild. Yeah, that's right, because Brady and Burkhardt were on that one, so that makes sense. Bucky Irving with the run on first down gets a lot of the penalty yardage back and a little bit more.
Stan Glassman, Luke is going to cash in the Panthers bet. Double agent.
Likely could. That'd start a scandal. Des Johnson goes in motion. Baker throws over the middle. One of the longest plays of the game, but it's a catch for Chris. Praise be to Godwin Jr. Let's get one more Jalen McMillan catch.
He's at the bottom of the screen there.
Probably be a run, though, since it's first down.
Yeah, run right up the middle.
I haven't looked it up, but I would love to know the percentage of running plays that the Bucs have had on first down. I want to say it's like 90% run plays. Maybe at the next commercial, I'll look at the play-by-play.
Mr. Ingles says, "Oh, look, they actually are throwing finally." I like the commitment to the run, but I want to see some passes also here.
Sparrow Sports says, "Are we that afraid to throw?" Apparently, as they keep it with Baker, who gets a yard and kind of takes a knee.
I didn't like the design that QB keep right there in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, they're viewing the Panthers like they're the 85 Bears. It's kind of ridiculous. Baker tries to avoid the sack and can't.
All right, yeah, J.C. Horn came in with the blitz unblocked. Ruined the play there.
Bucs will try to tie the game up. $50-yarder, not a gimme by any means.
Not easy.
But
you know, Chase
he
Bank
certainly
is
he certainly makes it look easy. We are tied at 20 after the the field goal by Chase McLaughlin is good. Eddie with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. As Baker is not seeing the blitz and the O-line is asleep. A couple of blitzes have worked today. Now, I think that was only the second time Baker has gotten sacked. So, can't say he's been completely thrown out or off put for what's been going on. But, Carolina's certainly making more of an impact in that department than the Bucs have on the defensive side. So, there's no doubt about that.
Frank G, no confidence in the defense as Panthers about to score. Which you probably
I wouldn't feel confident about it either.
Yep.
Tim Burton says the way Baker is playing, I let him walk after next season. The drop off from him is sad. It would depend on how much money he wants. And ultimately, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but if he has a bounce back season next year, no one's going to be thinking about his season this year. So again, it's not that this season is not important, but in terms of Baker and his future with the Bucs, it's not as important as this next upcoming season.
Yeah, and if I'm not extending him early. Let him play out next season, and then take things from there. But yeah, if there's another season where you have the inaccuracy issues, he's been a bit more accurate today. But if he has a down year, it brings the price tag down. If you could still keep him if you want to, or at least you can franchise tag him if you can't really come up with a contract both sides agree with. But let him play it out. Don't do like a Zion McCollum contract situation where you pay him before the season. Let him play it out. Figure out who is the real Baker Mayfield you have after next season. Because you're gonna pay what, $50 million, $55?
Yeah,
maybe more if the quarterback market booms.
I agree tenfold, and his money's guaranteed for next year, so doesn't have to worry about it. Farouk Kawab, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says watch the offense chewed up all this game clock just for this team to run out of time. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that would be tough, but it does kind of look like the reality of what might be sinking in.
You talked about the lack of urgency at practice earlier, Matt, but I just feel like there's a lack of urgency in the game too. The stakes are high. I just don't feel like the energy matches the need to win this game. This is a must-win game. You can't just rely on the Panthers losing next week to Seattle and you winning week 18.
No, exactly.
Win today. I just don't feel like that urgency, that desire, that fire is in this team.
They need to play like there's no tomorrow, and
Exactly.
It's not that type of feeling.
The mentality every game needs to be for it to close out this season, like win or go home. And you don't go home after this week. Well, they have to fly back to Tampa, of course, from Carolina. But like the win or go home type of mentality, like give it everything you have. I just don't feel like the urgency there. The energy is not there. I don't know what's going on. They look flat. The real Maverick. What's urgency exactly?
Sad but true. Yep, pitch and catch for Bryce Young. No surprise there. Second and 5. They're going to run it.
Good stop by Logan Hall.
Yeah. Logan Hall's not going to be back next season, but he's picked up his game a little bit over these past couple matchups.
But not enough where you would want to,
Correct. Yeah. Can the Bucs get a stop? 3rd and 2. Panthers going to run it. Vontae David was there, but didn't have enough to stop him short of it, as Logan Hall is called to be subbed out. Man. 9:39 to go in the 4th quarter for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All tied at 20.
There we go.
Vontae David on
Positive
the stack
play.
of a very aggressive blitz by Tampa Bay, and they get to Bryce Young. Looking at the slow-mo replay, it looked like the Panthers wanted to go play action because Bryce Young turned around to hand the ball off, but Dowdle immediately saw the blitz by Servassier Dennis.
And Servassier Dennis just dropped Rico straight to the ground to get to the quarterback. That was beautiful football. They forced the incompletion here.
I was waiting for a flag to come out, but I guess not. Refs letting it go today.
I like it. Let them play.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a penalty. Not a penalty.
3rd and 19. The Bucs should force the punt, right?
They should.
Bryce rolls out to the left.
Well, oh, God.
Dumps it down in Chuba. Great tackle by Jacob Parrish. He's had a really good game today.
He has. No, yeah, absolutely. Him and Benjamin Morrison, I've been quite impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, the Bucs are going to have a chance to take the lead.
Can the offense capitalize on this opportunity?
Oh, man. It's like we've been in this situation all season long, close game, tight at the end. But I don't know. It still feels different this time around. Cameron Johnson calls for the fair catch. Bucs will start at the 11-yard line. And just want to remind everybody once again that once this game is done, we are not officially done. Scott Reynolds will be coming on and joining for a Pewter post-game podcast. We're going to recap everything from it, hopefully talking about a Bucs win. That'll be on. We will do it, and with the Bucs being on the road, a little bit more time or quicker time for us to do the show. We will do it shortly after Baker Mayfield has his press conference. So could be 4:00, could be 3:45, could be 4:15. It kind of just, probably won't be 3:45, but really just whenever Baker's done, we'll get to the show. We answer every super chat. We break down the game, biggest moments, all of that stuff. Fruit Co-op, thank you for the $2 super chat, says maybe Baker has a TV commercial curse. He is on a lot of commercials. I know some people don't like that, but let's remember, he films those commercials in the off season. It's not like he went out this week and filmed those commercials. So I understand the frustration when he's not playing well and then you see his face pop up everywhere, but these things are planned well in advance. Yeah, as Aaron the Bucs says, commercials filmed way before the season starts.
Yeah, one of the commercials, I can't remember if it was the Popeyes commercials, but it was being filmed the same day that the creamsicle uniforms were released. That was in the off season. So yeah, he's not taking a break away from the the practice or anything to go film a commercial. There's no issue with the commercials. It's the guy making a little bit of extra money on the side.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, some scores around the rest of the league. The Saints lead the Jets over the Jets 19-6. So that's a big game in terms of the draft. The Bills are up 20-10 on Cleveland in the third quarter. Tennessee beating a Patrick Mahomes-less Chiefs 16-6. Chargers up 24-17 over Dallas in the third quarter. All these games are in the third quarter. Minnesota leading 13-10 on the G-Men, the Giants. Bengals up 24-14 against the Dolphins. Miami will be hosting Tampa Bay next week. As Baker Mayfield drops back the pass, he's going to step up and scramble.
First, he gets the first, but there is a flag on the field.
Flag on the play. We'll see what it is. 4:00 games as well. Jacksonville, Denver, Atlanta, Arizona.
Yeah.
Don't care about that. Pittsburgh, Detroit, and it's a penalty on the Bucs. So strike that run from the record for Baker Mayfield. Rough game for Luke Gedeke. A couple false starts, and then I didn't see what the ref said, but I imagine it was probably a holding penalty.
Yeah, that's a clear, obvious hold. He's working against A'Shawn Robinson. You can't hold any more than that.
Yeah, it didn't let go.
Real rough game.
Well, until too late. Yeah, 1st and 16 now for Tampa Bay. They finally they finally threw it on first down and then can't do it. Oh, Jalen McMillan makes the catch. Needs a couple more for the over 18.5.
5-yard gain there. Makes it 2nd and 11.
Almost got the penalty yards back. My dad just texted me. He said 67 Gedeke sucks. Several exclamation points.
Yeah, today, if this was the first time you were ever watching Luke, you would think he's one of the worst right tackles in the league with all his penalties and mental errors.
I'm going to say, he said should be on the Jets. Oh, Baker going deep. He's got it back up, Buka.
Whoa.
Hold on to the rookie of the year. Talks. His first catch of the game is the most important catch. A huge play for Tampa Bay.
Real soft zone. He takes advantage. Beautiful throw by Baker Mayfield. Also accurate pass. First reception for 40 yards. There we go.
Huge play. Gets the Bucs
Run play
to
action
midfield.
off this. Let's run it. Oh, they ran
Yeah,
it.
I'm with
Stops.
you. Nope, they're just going to run it, though. And K-Dot misses a block. And
There he is again. Nick Gordon.
Gordon.
Man.
Everywhere, man. Everywhere. Because you're everywhere to me. Yeah, jeez. Hot damn.
I think we say Nick Gordon. He's good. He's going to be a good player if he continues this path.
Yeah, Texas A&M probably pissed off with the Aggies losing yesterday. 2nd and 12. Panthers bring a late blitz. Baker steps up. Pump fakes, throws. Incomplete. Looking for Mike. Baker wanted a flag.
They've been letting these guys play, so we can't really, they've let the Buccaneers defenders play really tight coverage, so we can't go against this call. They're letting these guys play.
Big moment.
Huge 3rd and 12. 5 minutes left. 5:02. Both teams still have 3 timeouts.
Huge 3rd and 12. Baker's going to
No.
step up. Oh, geez. That didn't look good. I meant obviously it didn't look good. He got sacked, but I meant it looked like his leg was kind of twisting the wrong way. They called delay of game. All right. I guess you got to take it. Yeah, that's why he got sacked. The Bucs weren't blocking. Watch him get the first down now. Oh, man.
3rd and 17.
A gift for the Bucs
Yeah,
on this play game. The real Maverick says they will throw a screen. That's funny. Screw it. Just have Mike go deep. Just throw a Hail Mary to Mike.
If he's covered 1-on-1, I'm doing it. I'm on board for that.
I wonder if they get a little past the Panthers logo, if they would consider going for it. Baker throwing deep. Way too short. Chris Godwin trying to fake out the ref. I don't think with replay review, they're going to get away with it.
Yeah, there are no cameras. You can get away with it. They hit the ground, bounce back up. All right, now it comes down to the Buccaneers defense. Can this defense stop the offense of the Carolina Panthers? Dave Canales, Brad Idzik, Bryce Young.
Still a lot of time with essentially 5 minutes to go. Technically 4:57, but
we've seen some very long drives by both teams. So
yeah,
you want a quick drive here.
Yeah, 3rd quarter. I mean, each team had the ball once. Technically, the Bucs got the ball with under 10 seconds. Oh, Ryan Dixon got hit into.
There is a flag.
Good bounce. I think it's going to be a 5-yard penalty, though. I don't think it's going to be a roughing the kicker. What a year it's been for Riley Dixon. Couple of blocked punts. Gets special teams player of the week. Let's see.
He ran right
Hits
into
him in
him.
the hip. Dixon plays his part. Like, you got to go crazy once you get hit.
He got it, the ultimate flop. A lot of talking.
Oh, geez. Probably going over to Bowles and say, what do you want to do? Actually, no. Going to Dave Canals and the Canal Pals. Oh, never mind. It's holding on the Bucs. Like, what?
Shouldn't offset because of the... It doesn't matter. Who cares?
No, it should, though. I mean, well, I guess they're not calling a penalty for Tampa Bay. So we got a lot of what the Fs. What the F? Wow, what the F?
MH Fam says the refs are waiting on New York.
Yeah. Just didn't care. Yeah, a lot of what the Fs. Rightfully so. I mean, how's that at least, to your point, at least not offsetting penalties, you know? As Cody Parsons says, no offsetting, yeah. And that's off-putting.
Kid DeVillen, game over. Scotty J.
Could be.
Replay down. There's no offsetting penalties. They didn't call it. Cody Parsons, the writing is on the wall. Game's done, LOL. Now you got to put all your hope in the defense.
Which is a scary thought.
Yep.
Oh, man. How we feeling, Pewter people?
We're getting a lot of game over. Dash Mouse says that's game. The script is almost predictable by Terrence Montgomery.
Joyce and David Huber, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says, are we still saying no referee issues? That play was bad, but again, like, it would just be offsetting penalties. It's not like the Bucs are getting a first down. And even if they called the penalty, it would have been, I don't think it would have been roughing. I think it would have been like the 5-yard penalty, not the 15-yard. So, yeah, I really haven't had too much of an issue with the refs today. That's not the hill I'm going to die on when it comes to the refereeing. But thank you for the super chat.
Nobody has
Buccaneers.
confidence in this defense. Everybody thinks the game is over.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
hard to say they're wrong. And yep, big gain. Oh, not a big gain, but good enough gain on first down.
little dump off, 5-6 yard gain. Good tackle by Benjamin Morrison using his shoulder, but they're talking now about the hit on Riley Dixon.
Yeah, it at least has to be a 5-yard penalty. Tom Segahey.
Tom Segahey.
Fighting for his life.
Fighting for his job.
Little screen to Dowdle. Nice play, Logan Hall. Hey, we mentioned him before.
Yep. Hustle play there. Good job.
3:50 to go.
All right. 3rd and 4.
Big moment. Bucs are going to go with Yaya and Reddick on the edge. Big moment. Panthers are 5 for 10 on third down, so 50%.
Pretty condensed set here.
Bucs had a little bit of pressure.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Up, flag on the play. I have a feeling it's going to be like holding on BMO. Man, Morrison was playing a good game. I don't blame the Bucs for going man-to-man. We've asked for it. Sometimes you just got to give credit to the Panthers.
When you play man-to-man, it's me versus you. And right there, Benjamin Morrison just got beat. That's it.
Yeah.
He's grabbing, he's holding.
Yeah, he grabbed them. Yep, this game is cooked. Bucs are fried chicken. They do have their timeouts.
You got to get a
And
stop. Oh, there we go. Okay.
It is the holiday season. Miracles do happen.
But the time is ticking. Tick, tick, tick. Tornicota.
So if the Bucs lose, it will be, and I'm not trying to make a joke here, but it'll be 6 of 7. Yikes. Ooh, nice game-saving tackle by Tyke Smith. The Bucs go on their timeouts now.
Don't call it right now. I wouldn't call it right now.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that because then you're just putting the Panthers in a situation. Oh, I don't like that at all because you're putting Carolina in a situation. You get 1 first down, and then you milk it all the way to 5 seconds, and you either kick the game-winning field goal or you go to overtime. Actually, it looks like a Sonoradic
injury timeout. Okay.
Okay. You take that back.
And they're not inside the team. They won't count against the team. Okay.
JPP comes back, and 2 edge rushers get injured in the game. Anthony Nelson has been out with a knee. Now Sonoradic limps to the sideline. I imagine they'll probably still go with Braswell. Nope, there's JPP in the game. So 3rd and 7. Let's see if JPP does anything.
They have more confidence at 36-year-old JPP than Chris Braswell.
And Chris Braswell. With the season on the line,
Yep.
they turn to JPP.
All right. As you said, Matt, season on line, 3rd and 7 here. Ooh, this is big.
Okay, Tampa Bay called. They took away a timeout, but the clock's running. Maybe it's like an under 4-minute type of thing. I don't know. Carolina doesn't have to call play either, so.
No, they're not going to call it. And
I'm confused. How do you take away a timeout, but then the clock's kept running? Maybe they're talking about that right now.
Is that on Carolina? I think Carolina called timeout. Yikes. We can't hear anything. This is
right.
I don't know what's going on.
The Real Maverick says Todd Bowles logic. Just Fitz says Carolina timeout sounds like something we do. Yeah, that doesn't make sense for Carolina either. Like you could have just let it go to the 2-minute warning. Okay, Scotty J said 10-second runoff, so maybe the Bucs had the option of either the 10-second runoff or the timeout, but I
take
agree.
The 10-second runoff.
Yeah, take the 10 seconds.
What are you doing?
Sean Aguilar says, the season is over. Geist85 says, the real question is, when will Todd Bowles get fired? I doubt at this point they would do an in-season firing with 2 games to go, but I don't know. You're trying to spark a fire? It's been rough for this group.
I know you're just talking, but if you do that, who steps up? because Josh Brizard, who hasn't done a good job, who would be the interim? Who would cause that spark? Because you're not gonna tell me Josh Brizard is gonna stand up in front of the whole team and he's gonna be the guy. It's not gonna work.
No, it wouldn't be him. I think it would probably be Larry Foote. That would be that would be my pick.
Okay.
He's the co-defensive coordinator. He speaks every other week. They split it, him and George Edwards.
Mm-hmm. He's a high energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Larry Foote would probably be the interim head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Dashmo says Tom Moore. That'd be awesome, but they wouldn't do that. And I'm not calling. It wouldn't be awesome if Todd Bowles, the person, got fired because he's a good person. Just right now, not a good coach. All right, 3rd and 7. Wow, Cleveland.
I don't understand what happened. 2:28 left. The Panthers have all 10 timeouts.
Yeah, so I think when Reddick got hurt, the Bucs had to either let it run off 10 seconds or call the timeout, and the Bucs called the timeout.
You take the 10-second runoff. What are you doing?
I agree. What they should have done is let the All right, 3rd and 7 for all the marbles. Bucs need a stop.
They get the stop. There we go.
Nice job. Great push by the Bucs. They get the stop. Carolina's going to have to try a field goal, and who knows? It's a little windy. Bucs will have a lot of time, probably too much time.
That could be a problem too.
Right? Yeah, like the Bucs tie it up and then allow a last-second field goal.
All right, 48-yard attempt here for the rookie kicker.
Not a gimme. Not a gimme. Fitzgerald kicks, and it's good. Bucs go down 23-20, but it's going to be all on the offense.
I don't want to see you run heavy anymore. You got to put this game in Baker Mayfield's hands. You got to go out, just go out slinging.
I agree.
A lot on the line here. Guys 85 says Baker would throw a pick. DP Buck 32. Man, this game. Why can't we win easy? I hate this. There's no. The Bucs can never win easy. There could be never no, easy, convincing win.
That's how it goes.
Real BS 83. Bucky up the middle for -2 yards.
Mr. King 03, thanks for this $2 super chat, says I fully expect a 3 or 4th and out. I mean, that's what kind of happened. What was it, against the Saints? Where they went? Yeah, against the Saints. They had a chance and just went. They didn't even get a first down. So when Kate Otten caught it, he was half a yard short. Oh, man. Kickstand says, tight end screen to Vita Vea. Stan Glassman says, I don't think they're punting it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're not going to give the ball back. Even though Tom will be like, yeah, you know what? I trust my defense. It's like, dude, why? But this game today has been just as much on the offense as it has been the defense. So, David Weber, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says Baker 118 passing is poor in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of opportunities, but for sure. Kyle Driver, thanks for the $2, says last easy win was Eagles in the playoffs last year. I'd say New Orleans this year at New Orleans, but I get the point you're making. And New Orleans is going to win 3 in a row. They're up 22-6 against the Jets. Maybe Cameron Johnson will just return one for a touchdown. Or Sean Tucker. Landed even worse. It landed on the field and then in the end zone. So I think the Bucs get at the 20 versus the 35. Unnecessary roughness on a kickoff that was a touchback. What?
Oh, that's John Bullock. The undrafted free agent. You can't do that, buddy.
Yo, what? Bro. Your season's on the line and you're doing BS stuff like that? To quote ESPN, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Oh, they got Mike Evans involved. That's a good idea. Do you call play before the 2-minute warning?
No, I let it go down.
Apparently, no. Ay.
If they want to win it, they're going to have to get what? 86 yards down the field and try to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
When this offense can't really move the ball too well.
I mean, how do you get that penalty there? Season on the line for the Bucs.
Sweet ball at 21. No sense of urgency at all. Plenty of time to run another play. And he says Bullock pulled a Shiloh Sanders. If you remember it, what was it, against the Tennessee Titans? Was it the game he threw the punch in the preseason?
Yeah, that's right.
Against the tight end. Man.
Did they play Tennessee last? I'm trying to remember who they played. So Pittsburgh was in Pittsburgh, obviously.
Mm-hmm. It was the Bills in the last game. It might have been the Bills, right?
It was the Bills. Yeah, it was
Bills.
definitely the last game because they immediately cut him right after.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bullock to the Arena Football League.
Yeah, I saw Bullock to XFL, Bullock to Arena Football. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, he's been on the season all year long. Just can't do that in that situation. Just can't have it. Would love an Emeka. Actually, yeah, Emeka Buka reception would be great. Jalen McMillan reception would be awesome as well. Buddy Rose says, "Are you kidding me? Personal foul. They don't want to win." As Daniel just mentioned, Stan Glassman, Bullock finding his own way home.
He's gonna have to rent a car or something. It was against the Bills. Sweet Ball says. Zachary Jarvis says Bullock is lucky. BA Bruce Arians isn't the head coach. He would cheat guys out, coach him hard, love them later.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would say. He'd scream till he's red in the face, and then you'd have moments like this. 2nd and 4. Let's see if the Bucs can do something. Mekabuka goes in motion.
All right, Baker's scrambling
step
around.
Up. He's going to scramble. He gets a first down and more. Bigger to the 40 and steps out of bounds. A monumental run for Baker Mayfield.
Avoids the sack by Asian Robinson, just takes the open lane up. What's that, 20, 30 yards up? Good work there.
Yeah.
All right, they have the field goal line here at about a little bit over midfield, but it's because if you remember, Chase McLaughlin kicked a 65-yard field goal attempt earlier this season.
Oh, so, no! Oh!
Yeah.
That hurts on several levels because if McMillan makes that catch, he gets the over in his receiving yard. So, personally, with prop bets and the Pewter Parlay, that would have hit. Also, I mean, that could have been intercepted and the season's over. Oh, that hurts on several fronts. Yeah, I mean, no excuses. I know Jan McMillan's just coming back and his story's awesome, but I mean, you have to make that catch. There's just no.
A little bit of a wobbly pass, but you got to catch it.
A little bit, slightly for sure. Baker over the middle. Yeah, Mike Evans makes the catch because he's Mike Evans. That's what he does.
There you go.
Okay, third down. Hopefully the Bucs get it because they will have a tough decision to make if they don't.
4 yards of all your weapons. Can you get 4 yards?
They're going to run it with Bucky Irving.
They actually hit Kate
or the middle. Of all people, Kate Otten.
The real Maverick. Otten found the sticks. He held on to the ball. He didn't drop it. First down. All right, 58 seconds left. 2 timeouts.
Weird. It's almost like they're playing for the tie, which I don't love.
Yeah.
Baker throws over the middle. Mike Evans, just go down. Just go down.
Get up. Get up.
Hurry up. I forgot to
say. No urgency. Move. Run.
They're just running out of time. Like, yo. A touchdown.
Oh, okay. I think they call a timeout. Okay, yeah, they call it a timeout.
Okay. Yeah. Probably your right call. Yeah, Carolina playing not to allow the touchdown. I get it. Remember, these teams went to overtime last year in Carolina, so we are right on track, folks.
Yeah, Guys 85 playing for overtime.
Yeah, I don't like the idea, but it feels a little bit like we're prolonging the inevitable.
16 career game-winning drives. The last one for Baker, as I stated down there, was Week 5 against Seattle. It's been a long time. Can he pull one off right here? 59 seconds, 1 timeout. 2nd and 4.
Oh,
and we got a flag.
Jumped. Yeah, Buca jumped.
Back it up to 3rd and 9.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a Buca. Tough one. Who would have thought the New Orleans Saints are the hottest team in the NFC South?
3 straight wins.
The Saints could have the same record as the Bucs if the Bucs lose out and the Saints win out.
That's wild to think.
Baker stepping up.
No,
throw.
Intercepted.
It's intercepted.
Baker.
That's it. That's the game.
Are you serious?
The Bucs are going to lose. They've now lost 3 in a row and 6 of 7. They're going to go to 7-8 on the season. And just truly a disgusting game by the Bucs.
Real quick, and
Mike Evans angry again. Baker.
I'm not a Todd Bowles defender, okay? But you can't say fire Todd Bowles right now when that's clearly on Baker. Baker threw the interception. I'm not saying Todd Bowles is blameless. There's a lot of issues with the defense. But when the offense has an opportunity to go down the field and either tie this game or gain the lead, Baker throws the interception. You can't put that on Todd Bowles. Again, that's player execution. That's a player is not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Agree. And yeah, it looked like Mike stopped and then went to go look in the other direction. Panthers are going to take a knee, so we can wrap this one up. Another tough loss. Bucs are going to go to 7-8. They've lost 6 of 7. I mean, there's just no hope or inspiration for this team. I don't know how else to say it. But that's it for
next
today's
week
show.
safe against the Miami Dolphins at this point?
No. Everything is on the table. Everything is on the table.
This team is bad.
Our next game won't be until next Sunday, the 27th. So just real quick, want to say happy holidays to everybody.
Yes.
Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Hope everyone has a fantastic holiday. Maybe forget about the Bucs for a little bit. Sad Bucs fan, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says Clint Kubiak, welcome to Tampa. So yeah, that's it for this show. We're gonna have the Pewter post game show in just a little bit, so we'll be on again soon. But for Daniel Morales, I'm Matt Matera saying thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week for another edition of the Pewter Game Day Show. Out.
Merry Christmas, guys. Out.